feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
That shit dope, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. I thought I'd throw something new out there. You know what I'm saying? My brother in the building with me tonight, JT from What We Know Podcast. What's going on with you, my brother?
Hey, man, what's going on with you, bro? What's going on?
Man, you know what I'm saying? Doing good, man. Doing great. I appreciate you being here tonight, man. We got a good show tonight. Every man should be a monster. And so we're going to get it in tonight. We got some guys here that's going to bring some heat. They cammed up and ready to go. But before we do, JT, who we got in the chat tonight, man? Bring the show to tell me what we got. What we got going on in the chat?
You know what it is. We already got them. They trickling in right now, but we got my girl. She was already here for a minute. Crystal Light is in the building.
Man.
My girl. Lady
shout out to Crystal Light,
man.
She always supporting us, man. So,
yes, absolutely. And you see her in these YouTube streets, man, giving all the support, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
She's so her, my girl, Lady Navoy, in the building.
Come on.
You know what it is? That's another one. Super supportive, man. They out here, man. They really, they cheering us on, man. So we definitely got to show them some straight love. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And those two, don't, hey, look who showed up right here, man. Another super supportive,
my guy.
That's going on, boy. What's going on with you, man? What's going on with you? But yeah, they're gonna be coming in, man. We definitely gonna be highlighting everybody's their comments.
Yeah,
gonna be, you know, if you lighten it up in here, we're gonna also be responding to your comments also. Look at that. Leave them in the race, leave them in the restaurant. Look at that.
Hey, Hink in the building. Hink, what's going on, my boy? Hink, let me know if you can make it, brother. I sure send you the link, man. I know you be busy. Let's see. Yeah, Lost in Translation. I'm being a cookie monster right now on my way. Whoa, what you eating over there, boy?
What kind of cookie is it?
What kind of cookie you eating? Oh, whoa.
Yeah, he is right there. Look at that boy right there. Look at him. Somebody look at him. Somebody come and look at this. Von Bryant.
Somebody come look at this.
Somebody come and look at this right here, man. Von Bryant.
Man, Von Bryant is in the building, man. You know, Von Bryant, I love Von Bryant's voice. Hey, Black Man Unfiltered. It's so good to be in the building tonight. It's so good to be a part of the podcast. You know what I mean? Hallelujah, somebody. You know, so thank you, Von Brian, for being here, man. We appreciate you, man. We love you, brother. Thank you for being in the chat. Lady Navoy, you know, we love you. Thank you for calling everybody out. Lost in Translation, when he get through eating the cookie, whatever he said, he'll be up.
Something he said.
Hey, man. So listen, man, let me tell y'all something. We got some men in the back, man, that I got to bring up. because they're important to this conversation tonight, man. They're gonna keep it real in this conversation tonight, and I can't wait to have it, man. I got somebody back here rubbing their hands together. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring in Dr. Eva. First, give it up for my brother from another mother. Give it up for grooming and reviews in the building tonight. What's going on? Grooming and reviews, what's going on? It's good to see you, my dog. Good to see you, my dog. All right. So the next person I want to bring up, the bald-headed. Listen, everybody here is bald, and you know what? I don't like Mr. Bennett right now. Mr. Bennett, I love him, but I don't like him because what he did was he got grooming reviews into this ball gang, made him shave his head to be a part of the organization, and so I don't like it. All right, so let's get Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett, I'm gonna bring Mr. Bennett up. Mr. Bennett, explain yourself.
First of all, I take exception to the references here. First of all, shout out to everyone on the BMU network. Shout out to the chat. The chat is undefeated. And again, I say salute to the bold, the beautiful, the beneficent, the benevolent Ball brothers of the Black Men Unfiltered Network. Salute once again. And once again, we've added to our membership. We've added once again. So we're just showing, we're just saying, taking over. We've gone through several trends through these ages. We're coming out. I know the brothers with the twists and the braids and the hair and whatnot. And you guys did a lot of work. You got the Crown Act passed in so many states and whatnot. But baldness is making a comeback. I'm telling you, in this area here. And for those of you who talk about us being follically challenged, we are not. We are follically liberated. And so without that content on our heads, just the ideas, just the thought process. Look at the brothers who are on here. Look at JT. The wisdom that my man be bringing all the way from Detroit, grooming the Greek freak himself, just all the content that we bring into the space here. And so we are changing this YouTube atmosphere one head at a time. And so
leave your hat off, JT. Take your hat back off, JT.
Our mission is to liberate our brothers from the industry, from how many brushstrokes did we all grow up with? Probably a million brushstrokes ahead with the do-rags that left permanent indents in our heads. Go back to the days where he had the conch, all the chemicals in the hair and the Soul Glow Jerry curls and just all that stuff there. So we are just liberating ourselves from that. We're saving a lot of money, and we're just at this point now where we just want thought, not so much style and worrying about, oh, my hair is not right today. No. So we are liberating men to be their best selves, to take over the world with your mind and not with your hair. So shout out to the brothers who are going out there and doing the work. And again, one head at a time, guys. And who knows, one day we may even get, I know he's holding it down for the braided brothers out there. And again, I got love for my braided brothers out there. I got my crown brothers. I got nothing but love for you guys. You guys are dope. But one day, you may start finding yourself, making the decision. Do I really want to go with, the style, or do I want to just free myself? So we encourage them, brothers, free yourselves from the bondage of hair, and let the stimulation, let the sunlight, let the vitamin D get in your head.
Wow, he said BMU means ball men unite. Wow.
You see what we're causing here? Look, that's a hashtag. Someone needs to patent that right now. Get the copyright on that right now. You know what? You talking all that, Mr. Bennett. I got a gift for you. Let me give you two more ball brothers. Trey Ferg is in the building tonight. Give it up for Trey. Salute. That's my man right there.
R Pain, go ahead and take R Pain in the building tonight.
R Pain, look, it's dominance. The takeover.
I'm sick of you bastards.
The revolution will not be televised, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I'm just saying.
Put all you niggas on one side. There you go. All y'all be on one side. Get away from me. Get away from me. Sick of this. And Von Bryan ball too. He talking about ball men unite. What?
That's right.
And then we got Corey Hager. He bald headed.
That's right, my man Corey.
Well,
Quincy,
how about
that's my guy. See Quincy's hair. Come on, Quincy. I need you, man. Thank you, bro.
Ask me what happened to my hair and why
You told me what happened to your hair, but you're still a part of the ball gang, and I don't like it.
What did I say about my hair?
You said that you donated it.
Yeah, 16 inches.
Oh, yeah.
See,
Well, that's
look,
what
he
she
freed
said.
himself of his hair so he can help other people. See, that's what I'm
Oh
talking
no!
about.
You heard what Crystal said? Crystal said it's time for the locks to go join the gang. Oh no, Crystal! I thought you loved me, Crystal. What
The
happened?
locks are so
Baby?
2000.
Oh!
Don't you mean
You know what?
1997?
You know what?
I seen you with short
Brother
hair.
had everything has an infancy for sure,
Got a
but
nice
the
hair.
2000 early 2000s, yeah, the locks and the twists and everything everything definitely came
Boy,
up.
y'all killing me, boy. Yeah, you know what? I got a Cash App over here. Thank you guys for the Cash App. If you want to donate to the channel, please, you can do that by Cash App is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So thank you so much, Crystal, for the $20 Cash App tonight. So my songs are under construction, but I will play this because I thought it was real great. And so I'll play the intro again, and then after that, we'll start the show. Here we go.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose that fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right. Thank you guys for being here tonight. I appreciate you in the chat. Thank you for the Cash Apps. Anybody that sends a Cash App tonight, I appreciate you for still supporting the channel. Also, thank you, Quincy. I appreciate that. Ricky Williams, if I sent you the link, my brother, whenever you're ready to come up, man, come on up, man. I would love to have another guy on here with some hair on his head. All right. So guys, I want to check the temperature of the room, check my guys out, make sure everybody's good to go. JT, you and our prayers, with your situation, brother, I'm so glad that your mom is feeling so much better. Thank God for that. And so you had your brothers looking out for you, and you were on our mind. And I really talked to him and said, hey, let's send a prayer to JT and the fam. So thank you, JT, for giving me that update. But how are you doing, man? And we'll move around the room. Go ahead.
I'm doing well, man. It's Friday. I'm doing well. I made a vow with myself last New Year's to not complain, work through it, get it together.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that I go through, trust me, I got to work through it. You know what I'm saying? Because we not here forever, bro. So I look at the beautiful things that I have in front of me in life, and I kind of minimize the negative shit that's going on. So
right,
I'm gonna always be okay, bro. Even when I ain't, I'm gonna still be okay.
Absolutely, man. We love you, brother. Grooming and reviews, man. What's going on with you, my brother?
Nothing much. I just lost 10 pounds. I found out today officially.
Okay.
So I've been working out a lot, taking my mom, and so on. I do have a present for you today. So I need you to be quiet for 1 second and see if this works. Let's see if it works.
I heard something.
Let me try to do it one more time. Max, divide him up.
We got it. This is squat. Yes, sir. Yeah.
I appreciate it, my brother. You know, you ball brothers are get
Harley Davidson.
Yeah, you ball brothers are just wearing me out right now. But Mr. Bennett, how are you doing over there? I feel like Corey already said I'm outnumbered. He said BMU feeling outnumbered. Outnumbered. Mr. Bennett, how's everything going over in your camp?
Hey, I am doing well. You know, just got paid. It's Friday night, party hunting, feeling right. So we good over here.
Another ball brother. Dang.
Salute. The takeover is complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I feel like the count from Sesame Street. 6 wonderful, wonderful ball heads.
I can't stand y'all ass. All right. So Trey, how are you doing, man? How's everything going on your side of town, my brother?
Can't complain. I'm alive, so that's always a good start.
Absolutely. How's Anissa? Oh, I guess they probably into an argument. Arcane, how are you tonight, my brother? How's everything going over here?
Can't complain. I'm all right. Another day, another week.
No, that's right, man. All right, Trey, man, what's going on? Last but not least at all, Trey, how are you tonight, man?
How y'all doing, fellas? You know, at least we'll continue to have the majority throughout the night. I just want to say this to Brother JT. Brother JT, you know, I've experienced the loss of my mother in 2003, actually. You know what I'm saying? It's the greatest time, man. I'm sure you and your family, man, just lean on each other at this time, man, going forward.
Yeah.
You know, I pray for her, man, that she continues to be amongst us. This is the greatest time, man, for you and your family to this.
Amen.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that.
Appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely. All right, man. So I want to do an icebreaker here, have the conversation. I would have pulled it up, but Trey sent me something here about a young lady who tried to burn down the birth house of Martin Luther King Jr.
Unreal.
Can somebody tell me what's going what's happening? What are you guys? What do you think about this?
Well, from what I heard earlier on, I think she's recently discharged from the military, and I think she had went missing for a couple days. Her family was looking for her. They didn't know where she was. So, again, I don't know how much credence to put on that, but I know even that last mass deletion in Maine, that was also, again, an ex-military person who also known to have some issues and whatnot, but it was never addressed. So I want to think the best. Yeah, it was a sister too. So I want to think, you know, that this is just someone who's just very disturbed, but thankful for the gentleman who stopped her or called the attention. That guy was from Utah, who was visiting there. So I was just thankful that he was there to intervene, and those off-duty police officers also there to intervene as well. But I think we're dealing certainly with a very disturbed person, and so hopefully she gets the help that she needs. But I would hope that this wasn't just an act of evil or maliciousness, that this is just somebody who's just acting out and needs some help. So,
anybody else want to comment on that?
Yeah, I said it before on this channel, and I'm gonna say it again. We as Americans do not care about our history. We destroy it right and left, and that shows exactly what I'm talking about. If we don't have those historical monuments, the historical places, how do you know where we came from? We forget where we came from sometimes.
I gotta say, I didn't even hear about this story, so I don't know where I've been.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, bro.
They had a video that she had. She was dousing the porch with
big old tank. Big old,
I have no idea what the hell we're witnessing in the world anymore, man. It's crazy. I'm gonna tell you, it got to the point where I had that same eerie feeling that I had when I found out about Martin Luther King's mom, right, when she was in church and she was killed. And it wasn't even someone that was non-black. It was a person that was black, and it was a brother that did it. it's that same eerie feeling that I had when I seen that. When I was looking, I was like, is this real? Do we even know what's real anymore? Do we even know if this was like, because I need a story now. We actually need a story on why she even went that route to even attempt to do something like that, because that it baffles me now.
You know, I like to make light of things, JT. I mean, my thing is, why didn't she go down to the Sally Mae office and burn up those files? That would have helped people out. But anybody else have any word on and want to say anything about this before we get into what we're going to talk about tonight? All right.
One thing I do,
yeah, go ahead, bro.
Things we maybe we can't overthink it, but maybe she's just crazy, man. Maybe she's just evil. Maybe she, I mean, it might not be any deeper meaning. So I mean, it'd be nice to find out, but she could be one of these, just a attention seeker or something like that. But who knows what people do, the stupid things that they do. I mean, do we learn from it? I mean, does the rank and file person actually learn from knowing the motive behind what people do? And how is that disseminated to make sure you can stop somebody else from being crazy? We had a chick on here, B. Simone, right? Talk about that Martin Luther King had an affair, so he wasn't a great man. But she didn't get canceled. So one person could, people can say what they want. Do what they, I mean, I'm glad somebody stopped it, but I'm just thinking, what are we going to get out? I mean, we should try to find out her motive, but to what end? So we could feel better, or are we going to correct something by it? That's all I want to know.
I wouldn't give these white boys a pass when they go in and do this crazy shit and they do these mass shootings. I don't give them a pass. I'm not giving her a pass. I'm not giving her a pass with these. I didn't say you were giving her a pass.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you was kind of referring to me.
Put your guards down, bro.
Well, with you, man. We have to have our fist up with you all the time. God damn it! Nobody know what I'm saying.
Right. All right. I keep y'all on. But I don't give them a pass. I'm not giving her a pass. This is a calculated attack, in my opinion. She just wasn't smart enough to plan it out correctly, so she got caught.
I'm with you, Trey, on that one right there. I'm definitely indifferent to whatever happens to her. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm definitely with that.
We I mean, Roman was alluding to it earlier. We legitimately have a respect issue in this country. We have an issue with respect in this country. We have an issue with respect to history, to those who came before us. I say things all the time like the work was done. The work is done. That's an ode of respect to the people who came before me, that they put in the work. The civil rights activists, they put in the work to get these laws changed. I'm actually doing them a disservice by going backwards, right? All that work they put in. We have a legitimate issue with respect in this country, regardless of race, regardless of ethnicity. We have a legitimate issue with respect as it pertains to the people who came before us and the groundwork that they laid. Now, I don't have a problem with you challenging things that they did, but I do have a problem with you overtly disrespecting the work they did.
Anybody want to respond to what Trey just said?
I mean, Trey's right on point, because you see the disconnect between the generations before us and us in this modern era. Everything that they laid out for us, regardless of what it is, we should hold some type of respect towards that. Because that was one of our greatest times in history, because we were fighting as a unit together. And you can see the disconnect, because, and this is just her trying to burn down that house. Everything in that block would have burned down if she would have been able to pull that off. Everything, we would have lost. And think about it. As people of color, we don't have a lot of monuments or statues of our leaders, people that made us have a different mindset, different change. So if she would have burnt that down, then Atlanta probably would have disintegrated throughout the entire city. Atlanta wouldn't have never been the same if she'd have got to pull that off.
Man, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. And even if you go to Washington, like you just alluded to, Trey, when you go to Washington, D.C., and you walk around, look at the monuments, all of them are covered. They're all covered, got their little sayings on them. And if you've been to the King Monument, it's not. It doesn't have any covering over it. It doesn't have it's not like the rest of them. You could tell they just said, okay, we're gonna pacify these niggas. But it wasn't real. Yeah.
Didn't they put it right across from the Gandhi statue?
Yeah,
also?
absolutely.
And that was that's that covertly bullshit that they like. That was a real message. That was a real message. Knowing what I knew, about Gandhi and how Gandhi was, he was also racist himself. He
turned his back on us.
Yeah. So, and for them to put that, that statue there, I think that we should see all the fucking history that was there. I just don't like when people try to take history out because it makes us more lost than we already are. You know what I'm saying? There's no, and then I mean, I don't want to go too far, but man, it still go to the point where do people even care anything about history anymore? Because once you start hearing people talking about you old and it ain't 1940 and all these different things, and they really stand on that type of shit, man, it's like, do they really care about what history is about? I started looking at history myself, not in a way of being emotional, but in a way of getting information. And it just knowing about history and listening to it from all different angles back then. The doctrine that we read, man, just because you read a book don't mean that it's absolutely true, right? So if you read something that can counter the information that's there, it makes you even more stronger in when it comes down to being, I guess, knowledgeable, right? Instead of looking at things with the emotion, we have to look at things to, bring it in and say, look, this is information. And then we can make our discernment once we started really, really doing our research and shit like that, man. But yeah.
Here's my problem with this. Gandhi, first of all, he was a fake motherfucker. I don't care how you cut it. He was racist. He had fucking money. He wasn't starving like I think he does. He's one person I want to rip out of the history book and choke myself. I got beef for that person because I don't like liars. Second, when I visited DC a couple years back, I think it was like 10 years ago, something like that, when Martin Luther King's memorial, that was the only memorial that's not guarded. Why?
Yeah, absolutely.
George Washington memorial was guarded. Freaking Lincoln is, oh my God, they had like 10 different cops there. That's not guarded. The Vietnam War, war is guarded. The Korean one is guarded, but not Martin Luther King. I have a problem with that personally, because I believe in we don't make history's mistakes by seeing history. But so if there's nothing there, we're gonna keep making the same mistake over and over and over. If I'm wrong, please correct me, somebody.
All right, so I want to invite somebody to the show momentarily, guys. And I'm going to bring him up on the screen because I want you guys to know what happened to him over the last couple of days. And this guy behind me, that's JJ. That's my son, JJ. JJ, side up a little bit so everybody can see you. All right. So this is JJ. So JJ, they say, "What's up, JJ?" He can't hear y'all. I'm gonna pull it out so he can hear y'all. All right. So JJ had an incident at school.
What?
Huh?
You going what?
Oh man, there you go. Pause, man. I just
Look, being me, I got a little future of fire.
We know you can't do that. You got them damn beers. You can't do that.
But for no reason. Just weak. But I want to. JJ had a incident at school. All
okay.
Right. And with the incident at school, I'm going to let him. Well, we're going to talk about it just for a second. JJ is 11, guys. JJ had a little girl at school that likes him, and I think he likes her too. Is that correct? Am I correct? Oh, you don't like her? Okay, cool. Y'all got it, but she got your phone number though. That's fine.
No, she don't.
She don't. How she text you?
She don't.
Will she text you that information?
You know what the girl that was
Yeah, that one. Don't say her name. You can't say her name on here, okay? Okay. All right. So the little girl at school asked my 11-year-old son. She asked him to do something for her. Son, what did she ask you to do? Now you have my permission to say it because we've already talked about it. So what did she ask you to do? Now don't say the actual word, but just allude to it. What did the young lady ask you to do? The 11-year-old young lady asked you to do? Did y'all hear him? Come up to the mic. What did she say?
She told me to eat her thing.
Eat
Oh
your
my God.
God damn.
The P word.
Yep, the P word.
Oh.
Now she's 11. She's 11.
Going back
And she invited my son to partake in dinner between her legs.
Wow.
She's 11. And I want to share this with you guys tonight to let you guys know these little girls, they're very aggressive. My wife is about to have a stroke and 2 heart attacks behind this. You know, and she wants the parents, she wants the mama bad. And the mama's a single mom. And mama's very ratchet. And so I don't think I'm glad that JJ here came and told us about it. He sat down and had the conversation with us and said, this was presented to me, parents. This is what happened. And so I just want to share that. Son, I'm about to say a lot of things you can't hear, so you need to leave out. You can go now. Thank you for being a part of the show. Let me give you a hand clap. I appreciate you, man. Dap me up before you go. Dap me up. There you go. I appreciate you, man. Have a good night, my brother. Have a good night. Love you, man.
So BMU, before you go, right? Suppose he would have text back, what's your pH?
Look at Trey.
You would have really been in the picture.
Man, so I want to. So before we get to, I have a video I want to show you guys too. One for another icebreaker than the main video for tonight. But what are you guys' thoughts about little JJ, the girl asking my son is 11 years old to eat her pussy?
Well, first of all, let me just say kudos to you and your wife. It's obvious that you guys are doing a great job parenting because he came to y'all to talk to y'all about it. So that means that there's a comfort level between you guys, the parents, and the children, which oftentimes is not present. So kudos to the two of you, first of all, because that's big. And what we need more of that. This is also another reason why fathers are so important, because he's comfortable enough to come to his dad and say, hey, Dad, this girl said this to me, and this is crazy. Yep. This is wild, right? And dad can navigate him through this. Okay, listen, she shouldn't be talking like this. Stay away from her. You know, like you just gave him a little bit of crap about, oh, you don't like her, but you got her number. You know what I mean? Like giving them a little bit of a mess about that. So it's important, but not surprising. Right. This is where we're at with parents who aren't parenting. I'm not just gonna put it on single moms altogether, although it probably is a majority. I'm not gonna put it all on them. This is what neglectful parents are producing. And that kids are going to school instead of getting an education, instead of preparing themselves for the real world, they're talking about sex. And I understand, you know, I get it, younger, kids, the hormones, the food, I got all of that. I get it, right? But at the same time, it puts JJ in a bad spot.
Yep.
Because, and I'm telling you this as a person who had to investigate these things, if these young girls will send these boys nude pictures, and the boys will get arrested for possession of child pornography.
Wow.
And it's one of the most lopsided. It's one of the most lopsided laws I've ever seen, because he didn't ask for it. He didn't want it. She sent him a picture of her boobies. He sent her a picture of her whatever. I mean, excuse me. She sent him a picture of her whatever. And now, because the mother of the little girl is outraged, and instead of correcting her daughter, we somehow blame the young boy. And so, again, kudos to y'all, parenting. And I tell all these parents, if your child is under 18, you need to be going through that phone, because there is a charge for possession of child pornography. That's a charge, a real thing. So you need to be going through that phone to make sure that these young, fast-tailed girls are not doing things that could put your son in a bad position, as well as being able to have that conversation. And I don't know what the connection is between your kids. Yeah, everybody's child is different, but you need to find that connection. You need to find that connection to where your child feels comfortable enough to come and talk to you about the uncomfortable stuff.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? And this is a second incident, guys. So my oldest son, my 16-year-old, God bless his heart, my 16-year-old went through a similar thing, but my wife ended up finding her mom, my son would kill me, find her mom and went to her house. And when we went to the house, this is what it is. My son, 16, went to the house. My wife said, I'm going to talk to the girl's mom and tell her what I found in the phone. Now the girl sent my son, here we go, Trey. The girl sent my son pictures of her in a towel after she got the shower. Then on the second picture, she was undoing like every other picture. She was opening it a little bit wider, right? Right. And so she was sending that to my son. And then she said, I can't wait to get to school. I'm gonna goggle your dick. And she said that I want you to fuck me real hard from behind and blah, blah, blah. Oh, we can meet in the gym and what we dress out at. Nobody's in there, 7th period. Oh, she had the shit planned out. And my wife periodically, like drug testing, goes through their damn phones. Give me your phone, and she'll go through it and she'll read it. And that's how she found it. And we confronted the girl, went to the girl's house. I get out, the mom comes out, eyelashes way out here, weave down her back, red and purple on one side, black on the other side. And then I said, well, let me see if she has a dad. So I'm like, okay, wait until the guy come out. And then here comes a whole stud with a Lakers jersey on, and pants hanging off her ass. She and I was just like, man, I say, son, bruh, I know this little girl cute and everything, bro, but goddamn, you got to do better. You got to do better, bro. She coming from a bad stock. You got to do better. I said, when you see her mama, that's her in 18 years or 4 years, 6 years, wherever, when she turns 18, she's going to be just like her mom. And so if you meet the mom, crazy attitude, bad mouth, cursing men out, her daughter's pretty much going to be the same. And my son came back and told me, Trey, that's why I told this story. He came back and said, Daddy, you was right. Because I seen her with like she said, she'll talk to me. I seen her with a whole dude, like cuddled up, hugged up, like hiding out. Like, I was like, yeah, I told you. You just got to listen to Pops, bro. I got you. So anybody else want to give me what happened to little JJ?
You also forget your wife might check her text messages, but now they're using Snapchat too, so they can cover the tracks up so you can't see anything.
Now this is
I'm not saying your kids do. I'm just general.
Yeah. No. I'm saying this is how we combat that. Yeah, because kids are kids. I'm not. I'm not delusional. We have an app. I have an app called Bark. I don't know if y'all ever heard of it.
No.
If your kid, yes, we can control text messages. If they're texting too much during class, my wife turn them off. If there any social media sites hit, if they download Snapchat, my wife deletes it. If they download any other apps, my wife controls it. My wife can sit on the computer and just kill it all. Just kill it. Just kill the links as they're downloading. She kills it.
I assume it depends what kind of app it is. If you guys are gonna go cut it at the jugular or let's ride.
Right, Bark. Yeah, Bark is an amazing app, bro. I couldn't believe it. I said, man, this damn thing can't do all this. My 13-year-old tried to download Snapchat for something that they did at school or something, and it went to say Snap. It said shows the Snapchat being downloaded on this number, and it was my daughter's number. And my wife said, "Oh no," and it says cancel download. She canceled download. App goes away. So you could so parents out there, if you're watching your kids' phones and they're under 18, like Trey said, download the app called Bark, and you'll be able to control everything they do, even if they're doing too much of it. If you want them to only contact you, you can shut the whole contact book down, and they can't contact anybody but their parents. So make sure if you have kids under 18 and you want to keep them safe, download the app called Bark. And you'll be able to stop YouTube videos, what they watch. if they text something, say if they text something that says "orn," or if they say "ass" or anything to that nature, if it says "ass," the whole text message will come up in context of what they use the word "ass" for. So Bark is amazing, guys. If you have kids under 18. All right, so we'll move forward. I want to play this video. I thought it was funny as hell, but I want to see what you guys think about it because after I watched it, I was like, I really thought about you, Arpain. What he said? He said, I have a what? Bring that back up. What did
Oh, you say, yeah, I think he's got something.
Okay. I need to get ready for. Oh, okay. Yeah, he is stripping tomorrow. So, guys, listen. Make sure you go and support Corey Haga. Yeah, he's. They call him the Mist, and so he's going to be stripping tomorrow night, along with Arpain, because Black David is on vacation. So, the Mist and the Continent will be stripping tomorrow night. All right, so make sure you go and support that. If you want to send a cash app, I'll make sure I get it to them if you send it with their name. All right, I got the video ready. Here we go.
This man caught his girlfriend cheating on him right before their wedding and even recorded it, and instead of calling off the wedding, he played the video in front of everyone's family at the wedding.
Everyone, thank you for coming on this wonderful occasion, on this wedding day. I really do thank you for coming here. To my groomsmen, thank you for always being there for me. And baby, I love you. I truly love you. There's one thing I want to talk to you about, but I couldn't figure out the words to express it. So I figured the best way to bring it up to you would be to show you.
What? What the heck? Oh my God! What the? Oh hell no!
Oh, was he in the right? Leave a like and follow to never get cheated on. This man caught his girlfriend cheating on him.
That's a stage. That didn't happen.
I think it's staged. What you think? What y'all
his reaction was like, look.
If it's real, I give him credit. If it's real, I give that guy credit. I'm like, shit.
Now the question is, would you, if you guys were about to get married, if you about to get married, and you seen Anissa with another guy, and right before y'all got married, would you do the same thing he did in reality, or would you just address it head on?
He'd be dead already.
I am the pettiest dude y'all have ever seen in your life. I would probably try to get a venue change to get a larger screen. That's a little baby screen. I need that thing.
What's this?
I need a big
Dallas,
screen. Yeah. Yes. I'm as petty as they come, brother. I'm Petty Patrick over here. Yes, embarrassing her and embarrassing everybody. And hey, if I can get the guy to come to the wedding, would be even better. I'll probably reach out to him and ask him to come through. He can help me make it. I'm petty, bro. I'm petty. Like if you gonna do that, you gonna do that type of dirty nonsense to me. And again, remember, one of the reasons why I'm so hesitant to get married is because I take it seriously. It's not a joke to me. I don't play around with this stuff. So if you got me to get down on the knee and propose to you, this is no joke to me. This is not a game to me. So for you to play around with it, yeah, I'm gonna try to embarrass you. And I'm much viral. No, you ain't gotta worry about viral. We going pandemic, not viral. We going pandemic,
bro. And play it in front of everybody, especially if you get video of him clapping them cheeks real good, like Arpain said. Man, just right before the video, like if it were me, right before the video played, I would say something like this.
The toughest things any man has ever done is turn down a nice piece of willing, steaming ass piece of pussy.
See, here's the problem with that BMU. He's missing his other half.
Right.
When Black David and him together, something's going down.
Now, I will say this though. I am with Trey. I would be super, super petty. Matter of fact, I would probably just have the dude come. And I'll be like, you know what? The minister today who's going to do the wedding today, he still showed up. I'm so proud that he's here. However, he lost his voice. And so we had to get another minister at the last minute. Don't worry, guys, we have someone. Come on in. And I'll have him come in a tux. I said, can you do our wedding for us, please? And I just look at her. Go ahead, Pastor. I would be petty as shit, bro. I'm serious. Anybody, Mr. Bennett, what about if it were you? Would you handle it head on, or would you be super petty at the wedding the next day?
Oh, definitely head on. Definitely head on, because that you're bringing people in there that don't need to be a part of that. Just to the earlier point, I made like her mom, her dad, or other people who had nothing to do with that. So I wouldn't want to put them through that. So yeah, I would head on, and I would just end it at that point. But no, I wouldn't expose publicly like that.
Trey Furry, he looked like he'll do it. Trey,
I don't know if I would have been able to hold my cool up until that point. I don't think I could put myself in a position, like Brother Bennett said, to invite all those people. Then I'm standing at the front. I'm the center of attention. What I got going on is the day. I don't think I could have made it that far. I ain't got no setup. My setup is, do I got the people in the right numbers on my list for the people that call me to put money on my books? I don't know. I just, in that moment, I don't know. I don't think I could put myself in, I don't know. I was always very skeptical about females anyway. So you showed me one thing, then I was like, no. Ice edition, because if the mashed potatoes wasn't mashy, it could be a wrap for you. So I was just real picky. So,
man.
So the last comment. See, the problem is that goat shame don't work on everybody.
Yeah.
Hey, Black, real before R-Pain go, let me tell you how petty I am. Because once a time a woman did some foul stuff to me, and I was nice enough to get her some new tires. I went back and repossessed the tires, bro. Me and my boys went over with the jack. We took them damn tires right off her damn car, left her shit on bricks. I am petty, bro. Super petty. Don't cross me. Because for me, there is no bottom. There's no bottom. I will go as low as I have to go to win.
Trey, let me ask you this: Were you a cop when you did this?
I sure was. I was in my second year on the department.
So y'all jumped out like the IndyCar 500 and
yep. we pulled up. My boy had the little crank jack. My other boy had one too. So we was working both sides of the car. We took them tires right off her car. Took them right off.
Wow.
She called you? What happened? She called you? What was the conversation?
She was too embarrassed because she knew why I did it. She knew why I did it. She was disrespectful. She just went ahead and she probably got some other sucker to put new tires on. But I took them tires back, and I sure did. I didn't get all my money back. I got like 60% of it back.
Wow. R-Pain, your wife, she slept with grooming reviews the day before y'all got married, and you found out about it. What happens?
There would have been no wedding, man. There would have been no wedding. I couldn't have staged that thing though. The way that dude did, nah, it just wouldn't have happened. It would have been over. That's all I can say, since I ain't in that kind of position. But I would not have gone through that whole thing just to show that video. Not at all.
It'll just be money lost. I'm gonna tell you right now, all of that shit would have been rolling in my head, but ultimately, I probably would have took the energy to text, everybody that was, at least on my side of the family, not to come. There won't be any wedding, and I would have just left her stinking. I would have just left her ass stinking. I'm talking about she would have been cut off. Her access to me would have been just cut the fuck off. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not even gonna tell you why. I'm just gonna leave your ass wondering why your ass got stood up on your wedding. Whatever you think, that's what the fuck it is. I don't give a fuck. And if she was staying with me, you out of here. All her shit would have been off my goddamn property. It won't even be on the lawn. It'd have been in the street, catty corner, right between the neighbors. Shit, I don't give a fuck if most of it went on their goddamn their driveway. I don't give a fuck if they ran the shit over. I wouldn't have gave a fuck. My pettiness would have been just so bad where I wouldn't have let her know that I knew. It had just been bad. She's just been wondering, why is this motherfucker being so fucking evil to me? That's how bad it would have been. Maybe in 20 years, I would have told her if she was still living. That motherfucker would have been a ghost in my motherfucking memory. Fuck you. Now, the dude, depending on where he was, if I knew him or not, if I knew him, that's his ass.
Yeah, so if it was R-Pain, right? You look on the video and see R-Pain clapping those cheeks.
It's gonna be me, you, Mandrell, Trey. We gonna jump his ass. I'm not risking getting my ass beat on that. I'm jumping the nigga.
Well, first of all,
Hey, JT, and the whole time I get it, he
I gotta be the guy.
Steaming. He just keeps saying it, steaming.
Oh
we
man,
jumping this nigga. I'm not risking shit. We gonna whoop his ass. It ain't gonna be fair, goddamn it.
We gotta reprogram BMU to use some other goddamn examples and shit. Yeah.
Steaming.
One stroke up, steaming. One stroke down, hot, steaming.
Willing. She's willing.
But JT, there was steam coming off of it. I couldn't help it. That's funny.
How you get steam and I ain't get no steam? Oh my God, bro. I think that, man, listen, bro. I just think a lot of people would, I think like when it comes to Trey, man, Trey, I'm so much like, we so much alike, man. It's ridiculous, bro, because I'm telling you, man, if she did me like that, bro, I would it would be really bad. I mean, I want your coworkers there. I want everybody we invited just to.
I just got a new petty idea. You know how at weddings they do QR codes? You know, you scan the QR code and they take you to a link. I would have that link to the video, so everybody getting that QR code and they just be watching her getting her cheeks clapped on their phones at the wedding while we standing there.
But
like,
see,
I'm petty, bro.
Well, let me add a little more petty to you now. You talk the QR code. I would go a couple of steps further. I'd be like, hey, guys, listen, when you came in, there was a QR code on your table. Like, guys, we're giving away a gift because you guys have been so good to us. If anybody can tell us who's in that video on the QR code, I will give you $1,000. So go ahead and scan the QR code.
Let's make it fun.
Can you imagine?
Can you identify the guy in the video? Can you identify the guy in the video who keeps saying steaming? Do you know who that guy is? Let me know. I got a rack for you. Let me know.
Oh my God. Hey, you know what, man? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what Shannon Sharp said today about Trey. Shannon Sharp on our side. Listen to this.
When they go low, I go to the basement. Yeah, I ain't Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama say they go low, we go high. I go to the basement. I don't have to go Sometimes I go to hell.
But it ain't.
To the depth. Hey, black man. When they go low, I go to the depths of hell. I go low.
Yeah. He said when they go low.
Shout out to Shannon and Chad. That podcast they got is hilarious.
Man,
that podcast is so
amazing.
That is.
I heard what's the big guy name Jason Whitlock, trash ass, did a show on Stephen A. Smith is threatening to leave ESPN, guys.
Right.
He said if he's not he's been there the longest. His show has been number one for 12 consecutive years. His show has been number one in the bracket that they put him in the hour bracket that they put him in for 12 consecutive years. He said Pat McAfee should not be the highest paid person at ESPN. He said he should be. If he's not, he's going to leave and start his own. Now, I do believe
Stephen A. Smith was on TNT last night.
He was on TNT last night.
Yeah, man, Wilbon.
I do believe, though, if he's going to get into the YouTube, because he has a YouTube channel, if you're going to get into YouTube and your competition is Shannon Sharp, you're going to lose. You are not better than Shannon, bro. Shannon and Ocho together, that chemistry is amazing. So I don't know if he want to compete with them boys. And then you got Club Shay Shay coming right up. Oh, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
You know who's coming up that's trying to come up under the radar, right? Your boy, what's the quarterback name? The black dude?
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton. The thing about Cam Newton though is Cam Newton's still a young buck, man. I like Cam Newton, but he lacks in logic a lot of times.
He's still getting in trouble. The guy still, he's still.
He's not seasoned. He's not.
He got a baby on the way too.
He does.
Yeah. And again, somebody else just talked about that. So he's not seasoned, but people like to see tragedies, right?
Right.
And that's what's going to get his ratings because when I seen him and I was looking at his stuff, man, I was like, okay, Cam Newton's out here. He in the ranks and shit. He's not seasoned enough yet, bro. He get the people. He still is doing the Brittany Renners and what's the whites and shit like that. See, that's low hanging fruit. When you get somebody that you can actually challenge and they can challenge you back, it's going to be something different for him.
Now I will say this though, that Charleston White interview got millions of views.
But can I say this though? I got an issue with these celebrities though. Coach Greg Adams called this out years ago and said that this was what was going to happen, and he was right. I have a problem with these celebrities coming into these YouTube spaces because they're already bringing an audience, and it's a little bit irritating, right? Because they have other avenues that they could take, right? They could go be on TV. Cam could go get a show on TV. Shannon is on TV. Stephen A. Smith is on TV. To me, it's almost like some sort of like media bullying. Like, we're bigger than you, so we're going to come in with our already ready-made audience. And when you have people that are trying to be content creators and trying to grow their channel literally from nothing, it just to me seems a little bit unfair. And I get it, but it just seems that it just, Cam, and I don't even think Cam's show is really that good, to be quite honest. Just be honest with you.
It's not. That's why I brought it up. But but he has a younger audience. That's all.
But when you take guys like Kevin Garnett, has got a podcast. Jeff T, who's extremely funny, got his podcast. Paul George has a podcast. Like, if Tom Brady decided to get a podcast, this shit's over. Like, Gilbert Arenas, which is really good. Or Gilbert Arenas and stuff is really good. I just think they should have had some sort of parameters on this because to me it just seems a little unfair.
Now Brady, I think Tom Brady just did I think he's doing a show on Instagram and his first guest was fucking Denzel Washington. Right?
Yeah, because they did a table read.
They did a table read together. So if Tom Brady do one, he can get anybody on his shit, bro. His shit's gonna blow all the way up.
So it's going to only be a few. This is what, and I agree with you saying, Trey, but this is what in the long run what's going to happen, and what's happening right now with a lot of these guys that have that celebrity notoriety. When you come on YouTube, you have to mix with people like us. It's not going to happen because we getting it from the mud. And what they end up doing is diluting their celebrity by coming because if you on here long enough and you're a celebrity and your shit ain't hitting on shit. You just kind of fucked yourself in the YouTube space. But I agree with you when it comes down to it. Motherfucker, you already got a fucking head start. You could took this shit somewhere else. You could have used any other platform, but they see it, and now what they're doing is fucking the game up, though. It's really fucked up because when 9 years ago, when wasn't nobody really doing this right here, it was easier for you to monetize your channel. Every time you have more and more people, especially with these celebrities, it's going to be at a point where you're just going to be doing this shit for free, period. It's going to be harder and harder and harder for you to monetize. And it's because
they don't have to necessarily monetize. They get advertisers, though. That's how they compensate, like monetization.
So, but what I'm saying is that's how we get monetized. That's why when you have like Teague and you have all these other small places that's trying to get us to, like the regular YouTubers, they're not making a whole lot of money, but they're getting YouTubers so for them to sponsor them. And when you got Teague and all these other places that's not really all that big, they just enough. And then you start having motherfucking NBC, and all these motherfuckers starting to have, because everybody, even the networks, they seen that what nobody watching network TV like they're watching YouTube.
YouTube, exactly, bro.
They end up streaming.
It's dying, bro. It's dying.
Right.
It's definitely dying, but I do think there is a bit of oversaturation. Like, you know, I remember like Stephen A. You'd see him in the daytime, then he have a radio show in the afternoon, then he was hosting a primetime show, whatever. So I think, you know, it gets to a point where you only want to see only so much of a particular person every day. Even as much as I love Shannon Sharp, I don't want to see him all the time. But I would say the one thing about the one thing about that show he's doing with Chad is like it's almost like the Barbershop. It's like unfiltered. They just talking about any and everything. They, you know, so it's literally two guys kicking it. It's not your typical sports coverage or what. They're talking about so many things beyond that. That it's like you're just hanging out in a barbershop with the fellas. So I haven't seen a lot of that, at least not from high profile people, because a lot of these guys tend to be a bit more buttoned up and not sharing all that stuff. But it's like these guys, they don't leave no stone unturned.
Shannon is a great storyteller, bro. He's talking about how a dude pulled a gun on him when he was having sex with his girl. You know, just like
when Shay said he wanted Miss when he wanted Miss B Nasty, I was like, he for real, he's speaking for a lot of men right now.
Yeah,
like a lot of men would agreeing with him that they don't want the virgin, you know, buttoned up cute girl. They want Miss B Nasty.
Man, and he said,
people were going crazy. I was like, he telling the truth right now.
He said, Chad said she in the church. He said, when's the last time she been in the church? He said about a couple of years. He said, ooh, good. He said, I want me a sinner.
Yeah.
Man, that shit is funny as fuck.
They're just raw. I mean,
remember when he said about Meg Thee Stallion? And he just no apology, no nothing. I'm like, I read like a quarter horse. Or
he said I have them stretched out like a 2:45. Man, that shit was funny as fuck, bro. I was laughing. Bro, I was like, this dude's stupid, bro.
Right.
Oh my god.
Which I think is another reason why a lot of guys are leaving just the TV stuff, because again, TV, everything's so corporate. You know, you got to be PC with everything. But YouTube it's weird because YouTube used to be a lot more PC. Like you couldn't cuss on YouTube without getting monetized. There was a lot of it seemed like for a while they tried to have this policy, but I guess they lifted it after.
You could twerk now. You can
after
twerk.
a certain point in time. But I know YouTube about 7-8 years ago, YouTube was very PC for a time. And then I guess they just let stuff go after a while. Like if you cuss too much on your content or whatever, you would get banned or struck into something like that. But now they've taken a lot of those guardrails off.
What's really happening is that men never had a place to go on TV.
Right.
You know, you had maybe one or two TV shows, but you know, maybe Power, or you know, when The Wire was cooking, when The Sopranos was cooking, you know, maybe that's where we were going. But we didn't have an Oprah. We didn't have what's the chick that left her husband, Tia Mowry's show. What the hell's the name of that show? I can't think of it. The Real. We didn't have those shows. So what happened is that on YouTube, we now had these spaces where men were like, yeah, I relate to this. This is more me. And a lot of men were, you know, I literally only watch TV for sports. I literally sports and business. Sports and business is all I watch TV for. Other than that, I'm watching YouTube. So I think a lot of people are starting to capitalize, and a lot of these former athletes are starting to understand this is a market for us, because a lot of men will watch us. We want to hear the stories. One of the things I love, I'm a huge WWE fan. I am enjoying listening to these wrestlers as they retire tell these stories of what was happening back in the 90s and back in the early 2000s, because we used to think that this stuff was real, but in all actuality, they really didn't like each other, but they really hated each other, you know what I mean? And I'm loving hearing these stories back in the day. This is where I'm at. This is my zone right here. This is where I relate, and that's not on regular TV.
And you know what? I saw this too. The reason that Shannon and them are also so successful is because now they're giving away money. They gave away $20,000 2 weeks ago. Shannon got on. Shannon
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said if we can get to 350,000 subscribers by Friday, we're giving away $20,000. Now this next one is a car. They're giving away a goddamn car. If we get to 400,000,
hey, the price is right. The price is right. Business model always works. If you give people stuff, they will come.
But the scary thing about it, as I look at it, you know, and listen, I like a good football player or celebrity, as they call it. Their celebrity will eventually get the message sort of lost about what the most regular men are doing. Everybody, it's a small group and they do have a large audience, but I think the message of what we're dealing with will get lost within them, because remember, once you get to celebrity status, the worst thing you can do is you lose your celebrity where people are following you. And I think a lot of the message where the spaces here are struggling with, the relationship message, the moving to the next millennial message, will get lost because they're not going to really dive into those difficult issues with any type of solution. They're going to, it's just going to get lost in the sauce of the conversation. But I think it's really, we just have to be careful and just really adapting those mindsets, because they'll listen to them just because they are them and not listen to the true messengers that are out here trying to give this message apart. So I think it can be a scary space going forward. Because Stephen A has not always been easy on brothers.
Right.
On ESPN, it doesn't matter. But if he decide to make a full turn to come to this space, he gonna have to tread lightly. He got to recant some of those things because people won't take it as easy on him. So I don't think the message will really get put out there.
Here's the thing. Also, had a conversation literally with somebody today. He wants to do a show similar to what we're talking about here. But he says I can get monetized under a year and make 5 figures under a year. Like, good luck. I went to him. Whoever does this, myself, BMU, you know this very well. Can you do this under a year and make money like that? 5 figures under a year. Exactly. I've been doing a year and a half. I'm at 181 subscribers. There's no fucking way you can fucking get how many subscribers under a year talking about whatever. I don't care. You can be talking about dildos in your fucking hand. You're not going to get monetized in a year. Simple as that. Because algorithm of YouTube is so sensitive. If you shit the wrong way, you get demonetized.
Yeah, but I think it's a case by case basis, because I see people do shit way worse than most who are getting demonetized, and they keep their shit. And I think that even with the whole thing what we just talked about with Nightcap with Shannon Sharp, Lost in Translation said Kevin Samuels had 30,000 people in his chat, nightly. And that is correct. Now I will say on Nightcap, if you go watch Nightcap, they're at probably 25,000 people right now in their chat every night. 23,000, 25,000, 26,000 people, and they're growing. And the reason that they're growing, they're giving away money, they're giving away prizes. They want to hear Shannon's story. They want to hear Chad and him get into an argument about who can lift the most weights. Like, it's just be little small shit. People just be glued to the goddamn screen. I mean, it's amazing, man.
It's just free flowing. Yeah. There's very little format to it whatsoever. And like you said, the chemistry between those two is amazing. So
yeah, Shannon just bet him $1 million he couldn't lift 225.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I have PTSD from my last stream. How bad it was. I'm still embarrassed from that.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, that's a good conversation there. But I want to move on to the meat of the conversation tonight. The title of our show is "Every Man Should Be a Monster." Yeah, every man should be a monster. Jordan Peterson talked about this in an interview, and I want to play it, and I want us to have the conversation. Here we go.
Genuine meaning might be. And the line, "the meek shall inherit the earth," meek is not a good translation, or the word has moved in the 300 years or so since it was translated. What it means is this: those who have swords and know how to use them, but keep them sheathed, will inherit the world. And that's another thing I've been telling. Yeah, no kidding. That's a lot different, man. That's a big difference. It's so great. And so, like, one of the things I tell young men, well, and young women as well, but the young men really need to hear this more, I think, is that you should be a monster. Because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
Do you know the expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war?
Right, exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. And so when I tell young men that, they think, well, lots of them are competitive. They're low in agreeableness, because that's part of being competitive temperamentally. It's like, is there something wrong with being competitive? There's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with cheating. There's something wrong with being a tyrant. There's something wrong with winning unfairly. All of those things are bad. But you don't want people to win? What's the difference between trying to win and striving? You want to eradicate striving?
Brother Peterson. So what are your thoughts, guys? With Trey Ferg? I mean, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts about Mr. Peterson's comments?
I think the word monster, you know, it has its place within a man's life. And, you know, I've never really been a violent guy, but I was the same guy that you couldn't put your hands on. You can say whatever as long as you don't touch me. And I think it's needed, you know, at times, you know, to be a monster about certain things in your life, especially if it pertains to you trying to achieve something and do something greater than where you are. But also, you know, it can get you and take you into a scary place if you can't or don't have enough, you know, consciousness to control it. I think it'll put you in a bad place as you get older. I think, unfortunately, a lot of younger brothers are always in monster mode, and they really can't pull it back. They just seem to get lost in that process. But, you know, at times you should be able to. And I think, what's the guy's name? What's the other guy?
Jordan Peterson.
No, the other guy that asked some question. What's his name? I forget his name.
Oh, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah. He said the word warrior. I always believe that a man should be in his warrior state, because a warrior is going to protect. He's going to build. He's going to fight. He's going to provide. He's going to find a way to make it right and protect all within the group. I just think monster is just a scary word, because a lot of people still scared to sleep with the lights off. They still scared of monster.
All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay. Now I want to, speaking of Joe Rogan, I was looking up the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Listen here. They said that Joe Rogan is the biggest podcaster in the world. I'm looking at the numbers. Last year, this motherfucker had 14.9 million subscribers. That's how many he got last year. Watch this. He has over 4 billion views on YouTube. Bro, god damn, that's a lot. 4 billion views on YouTube. He's the biggest podcaster in the world. And that's why he's making $45-50 million a year doing
He found his niche, because he was a fairly lousy comedian.
Yeah.
You know, how he got the gig to host the UFC cards. I think that's where he really got, you know, caught his stride in hosting those UFC events, and he got the podcast. But, you know, he grew up as a stand-up comic, and I don't remember any memorable Joe Rogan at all. He was such a funny guy or whatever. But, you know, he found his niche and he ran with it.
Man, he's making $35-40 million a year, guys.
Easy.
Just sitting in front of a microphone. Just sitting in front of the microphone, bro. They said
I'm
Joe
not gonna
Rogan.
lie. I wish I could do that and make money off just doing this.
Well, let me help you. They say Joe Rogan. I'm reading it right here, guys. This is amazing. We'll get back to the conversation in a minute, but goddamn, they said that he earns on his YouTube channel, guys, from YouTube. He earns $100,000 per episode. $100,000 an episode, and he's doing an episode every fucking day, damn near.
That tells you how much YouTube makes.
He's Monday through Friday, so he's making $500,000 a week.
And he's got a Spotify deal, right?
And he got the $40 million, $50 million Spotify deal. God damn it, bro! And he don't be talking. I ain't gonna say he'll be talking about shit, because his shit be. He has some interesting people on there, but damn, that's man. And for him, he's a great martial artist. I heard. Like he said, as far as a comedian, I can't tell you a Joe Rogan joke at all. But damn, he found his niche, like Mr. Bennett said. Shit, that's crazy. But anyway, what are your thoughts, Arpane, about what? And for the people that just came in, who we're talking about Jordan Peterson tonight. He said every man should be a monster. I'm gonna play the video one more time, and then we'll get to Arpane and go around. Here we go.
Genuine meaning might be, and the line, the meek shall inherit the earth, meek is not a good translation, or the word has moved in the 300 years or so since it was translated. What it means is this: those who have swords and know how to use them, but keep them sheathed, will inherit the world. And that's another thing I've been telling. Yeah, no kidding. That's a lot different, man. That's a big difference. It's so great. And so, like, one of the things I tell young men, well, and young women as well, but the young men really need to hear this more, I think, is that you should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
Do you know the expression, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war?
Right, exactly. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
And that's exactly right. And so when I tell young men that, they think, well, lots of them are competitive. They're low in agreeableness, you know, because that's part of being competitive temperamentally. It's like, is there something wrong with being competitive? There's nothing wrong with it. There's something wrong with cheating. There's something wrong with being a tyrant. There's something wrong with winning unfairly. All of those things are bad, but you don't want people to win? What's the difference between trying to win and striving? You want to eradicate striving?
All right, Arpane, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know, it's funny. That's how I used to think about when I had my naive thoughts about America, about this country. And I worked for the Department of Defense. And the reason why I went for work there, because they were throwing money in there. But the one thing I thought just made this country great is that our nobility was only important because we could kick everybody's ass. You know, so it doesn't matter how noble you are if you can't fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I get out of this. Our country used to be, there's dirt everywhere we could find out. But I think until the Iraqi situation, I think we had more grace as a melting pot of the world, right? Anybody could come here and become an American. It doesn't matter where you are. You can't do that in any other country. No matter what you can. If you went to Korea and you're a black guy, no matter how long you stay there, no matter how many kids you have there, they ain't Korean. You know, for example. So in this country, we had a gift. We had a couple of racists who put some information on a piece of paper. And somehow, you know, they were granted God's gift of writing something much bigger than themselves. And it applies to almost everybody. At one point, they tried to restrict it, but there's some words they kept out of it. And now, so the same thing with an individual. You know, if you could have good intentions, you could be the best person, but you got to have some tenacity in this life. To move through the things you need to move through, but you could be benevolent about it. Just because you can do something don't mean you should, right? And but you will have to be able to fight in one way or the other. Fight whether it's mentally or whether it's stick-to-itiveness and not quit, and show other people that, listen, here's the goal. I don't necessarily know how to go in that. Get it right now, but I'm gonna move in that direction. And then as you move in the direction you need to move in, sometimes things reveal themselves to you, but you got to move in the right direction. So what he's talking about, I look at America used to be like that. For whatever small period of time, we had some nobility about us. And the fact that we could destroy the world 100 times over actually matters. That's why all these wars that we're involved in kind of piss me off, because we could just tell the rest of the world, you know what, just leave us alone. If you do anything to us, we're going to just go bomb your ass. We just want to grow. We want a peace dividend in America. And if you really mess with us, then we'll come get you. But if you leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. That's what we need to start doing. And, you know, so anyway, I'll land it there.
All right, Trey, what are your thoughts, Trey, about every man should be a monster? I think he went to go. He's on the phone in this.
Not there.
Yeah.
I can take.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Bennett. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's kind of playing with words on this when he said that meekness lost its meaning. No, it hasn't. It's just the problem is that people defined it or had, confused it with weakness. Weakness has always been having strength and restraint. That's always been what weakness is. So the word has never changed, but people confuse it with weakness. That's number one. Second thing, as far as being a monster, I agree with Trey, what he said earlier. By very definition, monsters are not controllable. Right. So if you look at the dictators, the Hitlers, Stalins, and all those sort of people, they were uncontrollable. That's why we call them today. We refer to them as monsters because they had no control. They had no level of meekness to them. So I'm with Trey. I don't like the word because the very word itself means undisciplined. I just saw the Godzilla movie last week. Dope movie, by the way. But that's a monster. Okay. So yeah. So this idea of become a monster and then learn how to control it. That's the problem. People who are left unchecked, you get to a point where you can't control them. So I don't like, but definitely. And as far as even on the warrior thing, which I can kind of get, I'm not sure that's necessarily for every man. I really don't. I think the other Troy, I think he had mentioned it. You have warriors, you have artists, you have intellectuals. The warrior class has always been, from what I understand of history, always been the minority in society, and certainly a very important part. They allow all other aspects to exist, but to say that every man is a warrior, you can be a warrior. I think that's like it's like those guys selling those motivational videos and whatnot. It's like, oh, you can be successful. Oh, you can be this. You can be, you're strong. You're powerful. And look, not everyone is built for that. Not everyone's meant to. If half the guys here, you went into the military, a lot of us wouldn't survive basic training. And certainly for the military guys, I'm sure you can appreciate that. So I think that, certainly I think being the best version of yourself, whatever that is, I think is the important part. If you want to call that a warrior, artist, or intellectual, whatever it is. But some people exist in different lanes, and it's not always being, okay, well, I can kick everybody's butt or whatever. That's, you operate, everyone is born with certainly gifts and abilities. You try to maximize those. And if you want to call that warrior or a monster or whatever, you can do that. But to say that everybody has the guts to go and do what a lot of our vets have done. So I'm always shouting out the vets and what they actually sacrificed and actually did. But not everyone's cut for that. So no, I don't, I think it sounds good. Makes, young boys, especially since I know he does a lot of speaking to young men, it makes them feel good. But, at the end of the day, what are the results of that? And I don't know if we're necessarily producing a better crop of men because of the things that Jordan Peterson is saying. I'm not, enthralled with the man, honestly.
All right. Now, I'll say something as far as I think that I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second. If there's a man out there right now, just say for instance, I'm a great fighter, or I'm a person who can take down a man quickly, and a man is in my presence, or people are in my presence that will put me in that physical destroy you mindset. If I'm able to be a monster like that and clear a room of 15 people in less than 15, 20 minutes, and I can control it, I think that's what that's what he's alluding to. Maybe I'm wrong. I may be wrong. But maybe he's alluding to the fact that most men can look in a room and be like, you know what? I could pretty much fuck up everybody in here. And they pissing me the fuck off. But today, I'm going to control it. I'm not going to get pissed off. I'm not going to have a bad temper today. But if I wanted to, I could kill everybody in this room. You see what I'm saying?
I grew up with some guys like that, especially a lot of guys in the martial arts. So things like back in the day, it's like if you were in the martial arts, everybody thought they were Bruce Lee if they got their black belt. Well, I can kick everybody's butt, because I got a black belt or whatever. Not everybody does that. But even so, my question is, why are you even thinking that? You just in a room with, I can kick everyone's butt in this room. What's even making you think that to begin with? Like, did they pressure you? Did they bully you or something like that? I mean, why is that even in your mind? Thinking that I could just go and just take these guys out. I mean, where's that?
I can answer that though, Mr. Bennett. Right? I mean, if you were like a guard, right? A bodyguard for whatever's going on in that venue, you might have a mindset that way. But here's an example of a guy with power who misused it. That rapper, the guy was trying to take a picture of the rapper, and the bodyguard knocked him out. just a young boy, right? He was just innocently trying to take a picture. I don't know if y'all saw that on YouTube. This guy, the bodyguard, hit him so hard that he had like a brain bleed and stuff like that. He didn't even need to do that because the guy wasn't being menacing. So he used his power. He misused it because I guess the rapper put a couple of thugs in as bodyguards because this guy couldn't have been trained because he should have never hit this dude. But that's one of those kind of examples, because I can beat you up. I am, right? So I think Jordan Peterson is trying to say, yeah, you should have the tenacity to do it, but you don't necessarily have to use it. And so it's a mixed bag with him. I like the guy. I think he got some good takes. Whether his takes help or hinder people, I guess that's debatable, depending on who's listening to him. But so I just think that I don't think what he said is wrong or bad, and that's all I can say. It's just conversation piece.
Yeah,
I'm looking at Al's comment right here. I mean, you just go into a room again. Like I said, the bodyguard. I mean, that's your job to protect. So again, I know you go in there with a certain mindset, but just for somebody just to go into a room thinking, "Oh, I can kick everybody's butt in here." Even thinking about that is something's wrong with you, man. And I knew guys, especially like I said back in the day. Everybody was taking martial arts. Going up to the 70s, the 80s, everybody thought they were Bruce Lee or they're going to be the next Bruce Lee or whatever. And they just went out there sticking their chests out thinking, oh man, I can kick everybody's butt here or whatever. Just challenging people. And sometimes that didn't go very well. Because even the guys who didn't know karate, they knew crazy. So he still took you out.
Right. Now I will say this. I don't go into a room saying I can whoop everybody. But I do go in the room and I play things in my head as far as what would happen. Especially when I got my kids with me. If I walk into a room, I'm looking for the exits. I'm looking for suspicious people. I don't know why I'm like this. I'm just like this, guys. I'm looking for suspicious people. Anybody jump up. I know what I'm going to do with my kids. I know what I'm going to do to that person. If I have to protect my kids, like I play all these things out in my head while I'm sitting there. Like if some shit pop off in here, this is what I'm going to, these are step by step is what I'm going to do in this area. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I do that, but I do. When I walk into a room.
It's a guardian mode.
Warrior spirit. That's your warrior spirit that I'm talking about. You're going to protect first and you're going to do what's right regardless. So that's all I mean by warrior spirit,
Now I'm going to say this. I'm not trying to be funny, but Alex said this fake, this is what I want trade. I want you to, this fake alpha male nonsense about all men being fighters is absurd. I'll take Einstein and Darwin over bullies. Absolutely. But when motherfuckers start shooting, you won't be looking for Einstein. You'll be looking for me. You'll be looking for Trey.
That's the point I was making earlier. That's the point I was making earlier. We've always had classes of men. And that warrior class allows the Einsteins and those folks to be able to operate in safety and be creative. But it's always been backed up by that warrior class. So like I said, I think there's room for everybody, but I don't think that applies to everybody. I think that'd be my pushback on it.
Right. I would definitely but I know Mr. Ben, I'm gonna say this. I know some women who are married, right? They don't, how women would talk, but they don't say nothing. And they just look at their husbands like if something. I'm telling you, and this is the most awkward moment I've ever had in my life. We were all sitting down having a birthday dinner for my brother. And one of our friends who is married, a friend of the family is married, and he's very, I'm going to run if something happened type guy. He didn't say that, but I know for a fact if somebody starts shooting, he'll leave his wife. And she's a friend of the family. He's not, but we know he's weak as fuck. So he said, she was at the table. She said, "You know what, guys? Did y'all hear about that shooting that happened at the bar in Dallas?" I said, "Yeah, I heard about it." I said, "Man, it was all over the news in Dallas." I said, "He walked in and started shooting people." She said, "Man, listen." She said, "If I was in a place like that, I would definitely want to be around y'all when it happened." She said, "Because I know y'all gonna get us out of here safely." And she looked at her husband like, "Nigga, you won't do nothing." Like she has no love for him. Like you won't protect me. I would have to be around these guys. And that's pitiful for a woman to know that she's not covered or protected. Some men won't take a bullet for their wife. Some men just won't. Yeah, I'm all for it. My guy. Oh,
Listen,
whoa.
listen.
Go ahead.
Darwin and Einstein work well on Jeopardy. It doesn't work well in real life. You know, if you want to go answer some questions with an answer, then fine. Go live that life. But out here in the real world, where shit can pop off at any minute, at any time, and this world is crazy. You could be at the grocery store. You could be at the movies. You could be at church. You could be at a concert, and it can pop off. Those are all real world examples. And let's be clear, women want to feel protected. There was a MMA fighter that lost a fight, and he lost the fight. He also lost his wife because he got beat up. So women want to feel protected, and it doesn't mean that you have to go around being the tough guy. But I think your wife or your significant other wants to know that if the proverbial shit does hit the fan, you can handle not only yourself, but you can protect the family. I've never understood this idea of, I shouldn't be masculine, or I shouldn't have a warrior spirit, so to speak, as a man. Yes, you should. You should have. There are people that should mean enough to you that you should be wanting to protect, and that takes a certain type of person. That doesn't mean you have to be like that 24/7. I am probably more like that just because for the last 20 years I've just had to be vigilant in literally every capacity of my life. When I was in the military and I was in law enforcement, and I've said this before, carrying a firearm makes you paranoid. I don't know why people act like that's not a real thing. It makes you paranoid. You start to look at every avenue of approach and how can this potential, like you were saying earlier, black man.
Yep,
and
exactly.
You start to think, how am I going to shoot my way out of this if this happens?
Exactly.
I say this to women all the time. One of your vetting techniques needs to be when you're sitting down at dinner, you need to ask a man, if something pop off right now, how are you gonna get us out of here? I tell my sister that. You need to ask that man, where are the exits? If a man doesn't know where the exits is, you in there by yourself, baby. He can't help you. I know where all the exits are. I know how to get us out of here. And I remember teaching male family members, this is something you need to be looking for because it could pop off anytime, any place. But listen, Einstein, Darwin, by all means, they work well on Jeopardy, but I don't know about the real world.
Right, and that's why I brought up when I was talking about what happened some years back in Dallas when that shooter was taking out those police officers and taking them out. I was there, man, and during that time, I didn't have a sense of fear, but I did want to get those women and those kids and those elderly people and some of those guys who are older, just get them to safety. And when you see, I had my phone on my neck, around my neck on a little phone case. I mean, like the little thing you hang around your neck, and you could see the entire. I got to go back and I'm gonna put a screen record all of it and put it up here one night, but so we can watch it together. But you could see me grabbing people, putting them into safety, going back out, hearing the gunshots, going back out, getting more people, bringing them in, right? Because I just felt destiny. I don't think I could ever hide. I don't think that's in me. And I think that, when he talked about, Alex talked about in the chat, says that Equalizer is a documentary. It's not a documentary. It's a movie. I'm not. And the other one, I want to address what he said. He said, out here in the world made up of violent scenarios, every dude is a winner in their mind. I'm not trying to be a winner. I'm just trying to get my family to safety or innocent bystanders to safety. I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to make sure they are protected and they're covered. That's it. And if I die trying to make it happen, or they get safe and I end up passing away from it, so be it. It is what it is.
At the end of the day, we used to have a saying in law enforcement: "Go home the way you came in." Right?
Yeah.
That is the W. That is the win. When you go out of your home, the goal is to make it back home the same way you left. That's the win. This ain't about winning no fights. Like you said, if you're able to protect your family and everybody gets home safely, that is the win. That's the W right there.
Yep, that is correct, brother. I agree. Anybody else want to? Oh, let me go ahead and go up to Trey. What were your thoughts? You already talked about him, right? Jordan Peterson. You already had your turn.
I think JT didn't have a turn, I don't think.
Okay, JT, what are your thoughts about Jordan Peterson?
No, it's grooming. I was muted, but I was saying,
because I cut my hair off. You forget about me? Sheesh.
Oh, my bad, grooming. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Couple pointers here. Monster can be taken two different ways. You can be a berserker, meaning when you release the hell, you release the hell. But a monster also can be a person who fights what they want for, and nothing will stop them. It's not other pointers I want to put in. Also, like Trey said, when you have a firearm, I used to carry. I was looking around every corner. Everybody that I know from this service to my best friend right now, every time he comes around a corner, he checks the corners. He checks left. He checks right. He checks up.
Mm-hmm.
So he protects himself. The warrior instinct is in him. Unfortunately, I believe Dr. Nukube said this once before. If you have zero training, you're going to freeze sometimes. This is why my father put me in martial arts at a very young age. So when shit hits the fan, I'm the one who's going to push it forward to defend himself. That's a little joke we had when I was younger, but that's facts. I actually have the training. He didn't. He was a cab driver. He did. Even when we had firearms in the house, he couldn't. He didn't feel want to touch them because he was so scared of them. Those are the things with the monster thing. You can cut it so many different ways. Yeah, monsters are this big evil word. Why do we have to make a big evil word? Why can't we use the evil word and turn it into a positive thing? Like most monsters I know are the sweetest guys out there. They're the sweetest guy. They're from the outside, the shell, they're just screaming horror guys. Some of them are fighters, karate guys like myself. Some other guys are boxers. But once you get them out of that environment and just having a beer with them, like they're the coolest guys ever. When they're ready to hit the shit hits, I want those guys in my corner. I don't know about you guys.
All right, so a lot of the word monster, it may not be palatable. I understand what he was saying, but I would probably prefer the term weapon, right? Every man should be a weapon. It's not just about brute and physicalities, right? I heard somebody mention Einstein and Darwin, right? The thing is have you guys seen Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Great movie.
Great fucking movie. And they had Einstein in there, right? Yeah. And he was the brains. But it was about when you hear these guys talk, man, these dudes were some fucking weapons, bro. They was motherfucking weapons. I was watching that, and today I watched World War II on Netflix. I don't know if you guys seen that yet. But this is about men being motherfucking weapons. This is about World War II. And this, like, a lot of people don't know what World War II is about. I didn't until I actually started talking to World War II vets about 12 years ago. We talking about this shit all was popping off all across the motherfucking globe. And you had this dude named Adolf Hitler that was getting this motherfucking allyship together with Japan, with what was the other? There's like a bunch of countries. And America was trying to stay the fuck up out of that shit. We was like, oh, we ain't fucking with none of this shit. But the dude was such a motherfucking brilliant guy where he had other countries that were saying, yeah, I understand. If you ever heard this motherfucker speak, Martin Luther King, and no disrespect to Martin Luther King, didn't have shit on this man when it came down to motivating motherfuckers to get shit done. He didn't. This motherfucker was brilliant, but a monster at the same fucking time. That was a fucking monster. And he wasn't the only one. So when you hear about this shit, and you hear about the motherfuckers that was actually running this world, I understood what he said when he said you got to be a monster. The thing is that we have to be a weapon. And what we have to do is be able to navigate this world by being competent with confidence. That's what we have to be. Everybody is not going to be a big ass 6 foot 4 motherfucker muscle bound and be able to just knock everybody the fuck out. Some motherfuckers can knock your ass out by just fucking your bank account up. You see what's happening right now. Motherfuckers, it starts here first before it goes to anything else. And I was saying the thing about the World War II and the Oppenheimer and things like that. War starts with negotiations. It starts with arguments. Not arguments like bickering arguments. It's negotiations. And when we can't negotiate, I'm going to ask your ass one more goddamn time. And after that, I'm about to bring some motherfucking smoke your way. If you guys ever get a chance to see what World War II was really about and understand what this world is about right now, I implore you to watch that shit. It's going to show you what you need to be as a motherfucking man. It's some shit that can fuck us up. One of the things I understood being in the military, I seen some shit that I was like, I ain't supposed to have seen. I've seen people getting shot point blank. I've seen stray bullets hit people. I've seen motherfuckers get kicked out of their homes. I've seen motherfuckers booby trap their homes. And the motherfuckers that was taking over the fucking homes, they thought they was taking over the homes. No, motherfucker. I can't live in it. You can't live in it. And it was all men. This wasn't a bunch of fucking women. This is why, like, in America right now, all this bullshit we talking about, women and men and gender wars and shit like that, trust me, it would never be a fucking gender war. It would never be a fucking gender war. We got too much grace. This is what he was saying. You got too much motherfucking grace. You're too fucking humble. So many men out here that's too fucking humble. We're overloaded with humbleness. We don't have competentness. That's what we're not. I don't even know if that's a fucking word, but we're not competent enough. So therefore, we're not confident enough to get out here and actually be a weapon, not a monster, because a monster you can't control. It's ugly. It scares people. It's all kind of stupid ass shit. But when you're a fucking weapon, it's something totally different.
Well, and let me say this, JT. Like, let me give you an example of another example of what he may have been talking about. Right now, I'm pretty calm, right? Don't fuck with my family, but I'm pretty calm guy. I mean, other than my family, you know, as long as my family good, I'm good, right? If I'm in a situation and a police officer, Trey is a police officer, he comes to me and he says, "Hey, black man, listen, I need you to sit down. Somebody raped your daughter today." Now, if he's an officer or a friend or a family friend, and he says, "Black man, somebody raped your daughter today." Now, I've been calm all year, 364 days, 365th day, that when he tells me my daughter's been raped, the man that you get at that moment that I find out, that's that monster. Because what's going to happen, and I can tell you, I'm not waiting on the police. Nobody's making it to trial. He's going to be dead. I'm definitely going to kill him. And anybody in the way, you just in the way. But he got to go. And I think that's what the monster. I think that's that inner monster. I think anybody on this panel, if it were vice versa, and I told Trey, sit down. I love you, brother. You my young brother, my little brother. I love you like a little brother. But I got something to tell you, Trey. Somebody raped your daughter today. The man that you see on this panel tonight will no longer exist. He will be a monster. I could tell by his.
Y'all ever seen the movie A Time to Kill?
Yes.
Yeah.
He became a monster. He didn't care about life. He didn't care about everybody else's life. All he wanted to do was avenge his baby girl. That's it. He became a monster.
I wish they would die, and I'd do it again.
And I hope he burn in hell.
So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Like, I think certain things I think when Jordan said that, I think that we're all controlling it now, but there's certain things that can happen in our lives that will be monsters. We will be monsters.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let me tell you this from a perspective as an officer who's had to tell a father something, not necessarily similar to what you said, Black man, but has had to tell a father some information about his daughter that he didn't like. Men are caught in between a rock and a hard place. The monster inside of you wants to go destroy this guy, right? Mm-hmm. I remember I had to drop a young lady off at home. She was 21 years old. She was a victim of a domestic violence situation, and She looked like she had won a few rounds with Mike Tyson when I dropped her off. Okay.
Wow.
And when she walked into her dad's house, he looking at me. I'm like, oh, hang on. I didn't do that to her because he was ready to come at me. I said, hang on. I'm just dropping her off. You can see it on his face. He's stuck. He's in a hard place. He's in a catch-22. Everything in his body, the man that he is, the warrior that he is, the protector that he is, the monster that he is, wants to go destroy this man for what he did to his daughter. But then there's the law. And he knows that if he does these things, there is a consequence. Even though most men would agree with him, there's still a consequence. He's stuck. They really are stuck. And I'm watching this man pace around this house, fists clench. He's angry. He even said to me, he's like, I feel like a failure. And I had to reassure him, you're not a failure. Just she picked a bad dude. You'll learn from it. We'll move on. You know what I mean? Like, but you could see the monster in him was man, it's like a caged lion just walking back and forth in the cage. It's like he wants to get out so bad, but he knows that if that monster comes out, it's not going to be good for not only for the guy who did it, but for him, for his daughter, for his wife. Like, it affects a lot of people if that monster gets out. But at the same time, as a man, yeah, I'm hiding in the closet, bruh. I'm waiting on you to come down the steps, like in that movie. I'm waiting on you to come down the steps. Somebody has to pay for what you did to my child, right? Yeah. But I get it, and that's why I say for a lot of men, don't be so quick to go in on the guy who didn't react immediately. He didn't go off the deep end immediately, because there's always that he's got that thought in his back of his head of, well, if I kill this dude, I'm going to prison for the rest of my life. So some guys are not like me and being you who say, fuck it, I don't care, I'm going, right? Some guys are going to take a second and say, hang on, let me try to logically think through this, right? But I know me, the warrior in me, it's like, I'm not thinking about it. I'm this train going forward. There's no reverse. There's no brakes. There's no reverse on this. We going this way. And hopefully I don't get the wrong person.
All I see is my baby face. All I see is my baby face. The bruises, my baby young and man, and then penetrated my baby girl. He got to die. I don't think I can even think about the police or anything else. I don't think I can think about the consequences. He got to go. And there's no way you and my daughter will be breathing on the same planet. It won't happen. It can't. I can't allow it. I can't even allow you.
And that would be worth it to you. Just playing devil's advocate. So again, you locked up for the rest of your life or whatever for going after this man. That would be worth it for you, that you would never see your daughter on the outside again or what have you, unless like in that movie he got off for like as a mercy killing. And I know certain states have that where you can get away with that. But let's just say
crime of passion. It's real big in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah. So but you well, see, in that moment, are you even thinking about that at that point?
Well, I'm my thing is, the reason that I think I would snap, I think it'd just be more of a snap thing. I don't think it'd be organized or anything. I think it's just find him and get him. But the thing is, Mr. Bennett, is that I have to sit through the trial and watch this man go through the trial. I have to physically look at this man who put this dick in my 12-year-old daughter. I got to sit here and look at this man in court. And then if he gets convicted, I got to pay tax dollars to feed this motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? So those are the things that go through my head. Like, if this man get locked up for 17 years, I'm going to be feeding him for 17 years. In 17 years, I may be deceased. What if I die first? This motherfucker's going to be out free in 17 years and my daughter's still alive.
Yeah, but he's going into prison.
You see what I'm saying? That's my thought process.
He's going into prison with one of the worst kind of offenses you can. So there's a remedy for that by prison justice.
But it's not my justice. I agree with you that prison is going to have something for him based on what he did. I get that, but it's not my justice. It's not what I want for him.
Exactly.
I can tell a story. No, I have something. Trey gave a story about having to go tell that story. I mean, go inform a parent. But I actually worked with a guy who actually experienced that as a father, and he actually did what brothers are saying they would do. He had 165 years thrown at him. He only did about 7 just because committing that, that crime, of course, is premeditated at that point, the way that I was going to look at it. But he actually lived that experience, and I had to try to work with him to sort of, because once you go, it sort of sets you back. So he was probably in his late 40s, 50 something when he got out. So he's already set himself back for 25, 30 years. So, I can understand. I couldn't understand it in the time, like, man, he did it. Brothers say, man, I'll do it. But he actually did it, and he served that time. They gave him 165 years. He used to cry on my shoulder. I was like, and he was a big guy, BMU. He was a guy a little smaller than you know what I'm saying? But I was like, okay, brother. And, I just tried to help him work through it. And he, was able to sort of get his little mojo back. He was the head of his family when he left. It hurt him. And he talked about how it hurt his family, and he's seen it. And he had to work it. I said, man, give it a little time, give it a couple of years. It ain't gonna just snap back. Give it about 8-9 years. And I talked to him, before Thanksgiving, and he's telling me how he's been working. He's bought a house. His sons are sort of, doing the right thing. They out here in this dating pool, and none of them have no children. His daughter, the one experienced it, she's like still, she ain't fell into the trap of once it happens. A lot of times, he says she's been respectful, and really trying to be a good person, and she ain't just got out there in the streets, and not using it. So he just thanked me for, just being a presence and just something. He can do it, man. We all, our resume as a people, it's deep like it. It's deep like it.
But I have a question, even for Mr. Ben and everybody else on the panel. What happens, and this has happened, what happens in a situation where you say, you know what, I'm not going to kill this man. I'm going to let justice prevail. And he goes to court and he's acquitted. Let me give you an example. Let's take Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin was shot by this fucking man, right? A kid, dead. Daddy, angry. He said, I'm angry. He goes to court. They go through all these court litigations, and he's acquitted. But then he disappears for a while, and then he surfaces on the internet, and he's at a Klan rally signing Arizona teas and packs of Skittles. The very thing your son had on him when you shot him, when he killed your son. What is it that a man, as a man, what am I supposed to do in that situation? This man killed my son, got away with it, and he's signing Skittles in Arizona tea cans at a Klan rally. What do you do?
So what? This is the thing. This is what I gathered from old boy saying you have to be a monster. You have to be someone, for instance, that imagine that happened to someone that was of the Italian mob, right? Imagine that. It was somebody that was from somebody that was connected or whatever. Do you actually think this man would still be living? And even if he was living, do you think that he can live a life of quality? You dig what I'm saying? So this is what I mean by when we were talking about being a weapon. That's what we have to be. Competence, confidence, right? Because there should not be a reason why this dude is still living, right? The one that's out here signing all that shit, and everybody that was getting the goddamn Skittles and tea and all that, all of them should be off this earth.
Right.
So that's where it comes.
Even in your example, JT, talking about the mob, but again, a lot of that stuff is very well calculated. It's like the guys in the mob who get taken out are often the ones who react. But if you're a mob boss, yeah, right. It's planned. It's strategic. They got guys. I got people in this place here. We're gonna set them up. Everything is calculated. So again, your mind is still in the process. But if you're a monster, and even there've been mob monsters who ultimately met their end because even the bosses were like, "Oh, look, you too reckless with your stuff, and you bringing too much attention to us. So we got to let you out, even though yes, you were a good soldier, a capo, or whatever. But we got to cut you loose because you putting all this heat on us because the way you carry yourself, everything's supposed to be done, at a level of secrecy or whatever. And so even then, there has to be like a controlled violence, if you will, in order for these guys to operate. Yeah.
Right. That's what I was saying. The most competent person is the one that's out here winning. The most calculated and competent person, that's the one. There's another movie that's out that's called Napoleon. This motherfucker was calculated and competent.
Until the end, though. Until
the end. Right,
until the end.
Then
he lost it.
Yes, until there was somebody else that was more competent and confident, right? That's what I mean.
He lost it, bro. All that stuff with his wife and all that personal stuff at home, it caught up to him, bro.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Are you saying women with a no? What I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not even gonna
come on.
I'm just saying he had he had his rise. He was at the pinnacle, but that home life was just messing him up, and then he started making all these different decisions that just didn't pan out well. You know, all that stuff was basically over in the air. I mean, I'm not giving the movie this is history. Because he wanted an heir, that's what messed up his old thing.
Hear me out on this Trayvon Martin and this George Zimmerman situation, right? Obviously, it's not in our culture to retaliate against other ethnicities.
Exactly.
Right? Now we'll retaliate against each other in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah,
right.
But to go against another ethnicity for whatever reason, there's always pause, right? Why not have some sort of boxing event where you just get in the ring and beat the hell out of this dude? Like, where's the representative that can say, listen, I'm going to represent the Trayvon Martin family. George Zimmerman need to glove up, and we can make it for charity. And if he can beat me in a fight, he can go on and do these press tours as much as he wants. He can sign bags of Skittle. He can do everything he wants to do. But if you don't beat me, motherfucker, you're done. We don't ever want to hear from you ever again. You make him sign some contracts. And you hold him to this, because that to me was the part that would have sent me over the edge. Okay, you killed my son. You got away with it. I gave you grace and mercy by not taking you out. You gonna slap me in the face now with the sign in the bags of Skittle? You gonna slap me in the face? No, Slim, you gotta see me now. I did all the things that most people would want me to do with a man who did to me what you did to my family. I showed you forgiveness. I showed you grace. And you gonna do this to me? No, you gotta see me, bro. You gotta see me now. And where is the representative from the Trayvon Martin family? And I'm glad somebody brought up the Italian thing, because there's always some guy named Paulie that was gonna go handle the business.
Yep.
All you had to do was call Paulie, and Paulie was gonna go handle the business. And when you went and got in your car, there was somebody already in your back seat waiting on you.
Yep.
We don't have. I mean, we have those guys, but we know who they are, and that's the problem. I'm not supposed to know who the Paulie is in our community. Nobody's supposed to know who the Paulie is in the community, right? There was a guy. He was doing some interviews, and he was the hitter. He just got out of prison. I can't remember, but he just got out of prison, so he's telling these stories. I never knew who he was. I'm like, that's how this is supposed to go. Nobody knew who he was, but he was the hitter. When they had problems, they called him. He went and took dudes out. His entire life was spent committing deletions. That's all he ever did until he got caught. Where's the Paulie in our community? To me, because why I get frustrated with George Zimmerman is people want to say he's a police officer. He wasn't a police officer, so that bothers me because he wasn't a police officer. You know what I mean? He was
weaker than that guy, Mayberry.
Security, yeah, exactly, security guard who didn't know what he was doing. And I'm telling you, as somebody who had to deal with these kids, I have had kids threaten my life. I have had kids, make the gun pointing fingers at me and all that. I'm gonna take you. I've had kids do all kinds of. I've had kids spit on me. I've had kids throw bricks at me. I've had kids, and I've never once felt the need to pull my weapon and take a kid's life. Never, not once. Now, I'll be honest with you. Some of them teenage boys, 16, 17, had to get a little tough with them. Had to get a little rough with them. He was trying me. You know what I mean? Some of them needed it because they didn't come from father homes, right? There was no father in the house. So there was never a man to put their hands on them, right? But most of the time, a little scared straight walk through juvenile, yada yada, that was enough, and we could cut them loose and send them on their way. But I'm just wondering if I'm gonna cut you that kind of grace and you disrespect my family, where's the Paulie? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
we don't have it. Even by those who talk about, I mean, you figure like the nation, I mean, there's never been a history of that. Like I said, it's always been against each other, but never like something on that scale where like, all these deletions that have taken place. Nobody's putting anything together. You're right. We've never had that. Even back in the, what's the movie with Denzel about the drug dealer from Harlem?
Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas, like all those guys, they went against each other, right?
American Gangster.
It was beef with him, and I forget who the other guy was there who was big at the time, but it was all that beef with each other. But they were going the Italians,
Bumpy Johnson.
Like none of those. Well, no, he was the heir. I think it was Bumpy first. He worked for Bumpy, and then he took over. But there was another guy, Nicky Barnes.
Yeah.
Those they went, at it. But the Italians it was like no one said, "Hey, let's get together and let's let's bond." Like there was none of that. So again, we've been our own worst enemy when it comes to a lot of that stuff.
And didn't the Italian families, they would have this guy, and they would have the Paulie, and when Paulie got the deed done, didn't they put him on a plane and send him back to Sicilia or Italy somewhere? You know what I mean? Like he did what he needed to do, and they got him up out of here.
Like, he was totally dedicated to the mob, and that was it. You're absolutely right. It was, but we've never had that. But that's why that incident over the summer in Alabama with that riverboat thing. I think that's what had so many of us hyped up, because that was one of the first times when just folks just rose up against. We knew who they were, and we went at them. I think that's why so many people were emotionally moved by that, because it's like finally somebody doing something.
Yeah, and what a time that was. That was beautiful.
Even if you seen where like with Frank Lucas, it disseminated. We had our Paulie. Frank Lucas was the Paulie because he's the heir of what's his name? Bumpy Johnson, right? So he was our Paulie. That was who our Paulie was, him, and there was another guy that was our Paulie. And when Bumpy Johnson was doing his thing, that's what Bumpy Johnson was trying to do. Bumpy Johnson was trying to get the black folks to be able to do what the Italians was doing. He got so deep into the Italians' lightweight, it was kind of like he was a made man. Motherfuckers was mad when Bumpy Johnson did what he did, right? So even when you look at that, it never did get to a point, because going back to the point, I think it was fear. I think we had fear. I think just Black Americans had a fear that we couldn't go that far.
I agree. Not Nat Turner, though.
Our anger turned to one another. Even when you look at those times, our anger turned to one another. It was kind of like, you ever seen some motherfuckers was, when you a kid, motherfuckers get the joning on you, and then a motherfucker be laughing, and then you look at the weakest motherfucker, or who you think is the weakest motherfucker, and you say, what the fuck you laughing for? And everybody else was laughing about it. That's how it was with black folks. I was just like, damn, you fighting the wrong motherfucker, nigga. Then you get your ass whipped by the nigga you thought that was the goddamn weak link. Now who you gonna sit back? So that's what I think that it was with black folks at that time.
Yeah, I think that the Nat Turner was a great representation of that. I think that that's my kindred spirit. I think that if I woke up tomorrow and it was 1876, I'd be in the history books. I killed millions of the motherfuckers. I'm not picking no cotton. I'm not going no field, but I will destroy your families. And so I think that Nat Turner was a beautiful person who said, you know what, I'm tired of this shit, and I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna wreak havoc. And he was a monster, and he went and did what he did. I mean, the reason he said he's a monster because he was a slave all this time, and then all of a sudden he said, you know what, I'm tired of this shit. And he got the women, the kids, the men, the uncles, the auntie. They were just killing everybody.
Just had a little goddamn army. It was not Sparta.
and here's the thing. Nat knew what was coming. They knew they wasn't gonna make it out of this. They knew it. They knew they wasn't gonna make it out of this alive. There's no way in the world they sat here and thought, oh, we're gonna get out of this alive. They knew that this was a deletion mission. This was the deletion mission. They knew what time it was, but they did it anyway. I have a saying, and I heard somebody say it before, and it stuck with me. I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. I'm not going out like that. I'm not going out like if you take me out, you take me out.
A smarter woman used to say to her husband before he go to battle, with your shield or on your shield.
Yeah.
Yep.
They'll
Well, we
always
got
say that
lost in
when you stand up.
translation in this bitch. Lost in translation. What's up, man? You know, we knew you was eating some. Yeah, we was eating. You was eating some monkey. I mean, some cookie. And so we just, you know.
Chili roll.
Yes, yeah. What's going on, man? You licking your lips? I don't know what tastes good over there. I don't.
Look at me. Look at me. The thing about it, I think a lot of people are missing is strategy, man. Here's the thing. People don't respect you unless they know that you're willing to have mutual destruction.
Mm.
We used to have a saying back in the day, speak softly, but carry a big stick. You understand what I'm saying? You don't go around.
I like that. I like that.
You don't go around creating enemies where there are none, where they don't need to be. But the minute somebody crosses you, they need to know that you're willing to die and take somebody with you. You see what I'm saying? The problem is that everybody wants to be Pauly, but Pauly doesn't need to be seen. And that's the problem. There's an old Chinese proverb that says, the nail that sticks out gets hammered. You see what I'm saying? And I need to be seen. Our egos that need to be satiated by letting everybody know that we're the man is also a problem. You see what I'm saying? And then there are times where people need to know that you have the capability of making their life hard. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why people don't mess with America. You know what I'm saying? After Japan had a little taste of what's possible, the rest of the world was like, oh, they really can make stuff disappear. And that's the main reason why a lot of people don't go around, you know, messing with America. They may say what they want to say under their breath. But at the same time, you know, America has another face that says, bring us your tired and your poor. You know what I'm saying? They're yearning for more. You know what I'm saying? That's the front end. That's the front end of the business. And then there's the business end of the business. You understand what I'm saying? The financial mutual destruction, the physical mutual destruction. You know, they know that America is comfortable from time to time to make things difficult for people, whether you know it or not, whether you see it or not. There's always going to be rumblings. You see what I'm saying? There's always going to be rumblings. And that's the problem with us sometimes, man. We want to be out in front, but we don't want to be a target. But that's just how it is, man. But my thing is what Jordan Peterson was talking about was every man should be a monster. What he's saying is that every man is a monster until you prove otherwise. You see what I'm saying? Nobody needs to know what's inside you until it's time to show it. And when you show it, it better be for the right reason. You know what I'm saying? And some people want to try you from time to time. There's a good reason why people don't mess with me. It ain't got nothing to do with me being 6'4". You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, he can handle the physical business, but there's a mental aspect about him I just don't quite understand. You see what I'm saying? So when you're able to wield the physical with the mental and you use the wisdom to go with it, it's difficult for people to enter into your arena. You see what I'm saying? Because somebody who's built like that can handle you in the physical arena. Somebody who's built that way can handle you in the mental arena. But the problem is everybody can't do the same thing at the same time. So you kind of leave those people alone. But my thing is this, you also have to be able to be trained and you have to be ready. It's one thing for you to say that you're a badass and you haven't put in the work. So nobody's going to believe me. People are going to try you just to see where you are because other people are going to be watching. There's also an aspect of people always watching you too. They want to know where your weaknesses are. But if you never show it, then they can't figure it out. But I believe what Jordan Peterson said was correct. Yeah, you should be a monster. But at the same time, everybody should know that. They should know it's there, but they shouldn't see it. You see what I'm saying? They really shouldn't see it until it's too late. And I think that's the advantage of being a monster. You know what I mean? It's always there. People like to say that they want to be in control, but sometimes you got to let it go. You know what I mean? Sometimes Hulk has to smash. You know what I'm saying? And you never know. Just like Black Man was saying, if somebody came up and found out his daughter was raped, there are some guys who are not going to kill you on the spot. There are some guys who are going to come at you with razor blades and lemon juice, and they're going to savor making your life miserable for as long as you can take it. You know what I'm saying? You got guys like that. Some guys will let you off the hook, shoot you, and that's it. And you got some guys who will enjoy hurting you bad. And my thing is this: you don't know who those guys are until it's too late. So my thing is this, man. Practice being a monster in your own time. Nobody needs to see that. Always brush up on your mentals. Always brush up on your physicals. Because when you get to that place, you'll be confident and you don't have to worry about being able to protect your folks and being able to protect yourself. It's one thing to say that you're a badass. It's another one to know. You know what I'm saying? And most men know this when it comes to competition. When we grow up, we always had this pecking order of who was the strongest, who was the quickest, who was the fastest. And everybody kind of figured out where you stood on the pecking order. But as far as being quiet and confident, if nobody knows what you're capable of, then at that particular point, it's kind of hard to measure a man. Does that make sense, Black Man?
It does. And you know and we were talking about TV and movies.
Right.
Who we can relate a person to who had that complex, right?
Right.
James St. Patrick.
Right.
If you watched Power, during the day he had a suit on, he would smile, he would greet you, he would shake your hand, very professional, didn't curse, didn't act like a hood dude, nothing. But when the sun went down and you pissed him off when the sun was out, he got on his hoodie, his sweatpants, his tennis shoes, his hoodie on his head, his 9mm in his hand, he finna come blow your fucking brains out while you sleep.
Right.
And, I give you another one. I don't know if you guys have seen this one with Kevin Costner. It's called Mr. Brooks.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Brooks was a man of the people. He got the key to the city. He had a well-known business. He was very professional during the day, beautiful home, millions of dollars. But if you pissed him off, at nightfall, he's coming out and he's going to get your ass. He's going to cut your throat. He's going to kill you, blow your fucking brains out. And I think those two men right there, those characters in these movies are relatable to what I'm talking about. Because Mr. Brooks, during the day, people loved him. He got the key to the damn city from the mayor. They loved him. Business of the year, businessman of the year. But when the lights went out and he put on that black gear and that fucking, you're dead. If you've never seen Mr. Brooks, guys, I recommend you go watch it. That is a great movie. That is a great movie. Kevin Costner. Oh my God.
Question: are we talking about movies tonight, or we're talking about real thoughts?
No, I said comparability. Comparing.
I know. I'm just teasing you, bro.
Oh yeah. The monster.
Truth is stranger than fiction, man. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Funny, when Lost in Translation started talking about this, I just started the movie. Yo, Butch, I'm far away from being all right. I'm gonna get a couple of my hard leg motherfuckers. We gonna get medieval on this motherfucker.
Hey, no offense, but you sound like Rocky right now.
You know what I'm saying? Go medieval on the homes.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Man,
yeah. Pulp Fiction. That's one of my favorite movies.
Man, me too, brother.
Oh my.
No offense, my brother, but you sound like Rocky Balboa right now. I'm doing that.
But I just
better looking than you.
Yeah, now, Mr. Bennett, I want to hear Mr. Bennett's response, if I can, on what were your thoughts on if someone violated someone in your family, one of your daughters or your wife, and you went to court and you wanted justice, and they say, you know what, we acquit him of all charges. What is going through Mr. Bennett's mind?
Honestly, I said this on Doctor, so I have no idea. The only thing I would be thinking about that at that point is whatever decision that I decide to make, I need to be able to live with it.
Right.
Whatever that is. So I may, reach out, speak out, whatever, or I may just reach across or, and delete the person myself. But whatever decision that I decide to make, I have to live with that and be prepared to do so. So that's really what that is. I mean, the hypothetical, like I said, I don't spend a lot of time with the hypothetical stuff. I can't imagine
Right, I can't either.
what would happen. But but there's some dudes though I know, like in my family, like I have to keep information at harm's, they can't know certain things. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
my daughter's like, look, regardless of what I would do, but I know dudes who would just go off the deep end if they heard a smidgen. I know my daughter, she worked in a psych hospital. And there was some stuff that went down that, yes, it got resolved. Yes, things were handled in the proper fashion. But I know some dudes, if they knew about it, it would be bad. So for me, I mean, those to me are, like I said, the monsters. The guys who, sometimes there's certain guys you have to protect from themselves in terms of what they would do from to somebody else. And not just somebody else, but others who might be innocently in the way. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, I don't allow myself oftentimes to have those kind of thoughts, because you can go to some very dark places with some of that stuff. So just for my peace of mind, I know, like I said, I know I'm not naive. I know that this world is a very hostile environment. But for me, if I spent too much time in that negative energy,
It'll
man,
consume you.
yeah, I can't allow that to happen, especially now, just where I'm at in my life. And again, I came from very dark situations and circumstances where I could have lashed out and did a lot of things back in the day, but I wouldn't be enjoying the life that I did now had I acted out at that particular time. So so that's you guys look at me as like Mr. Bennett, Mr. level-headed and whatnot, but I got a background too, but it's not something that I'm looking to go back to or have those kind of thoughts. It took me a long time to get to this point of tranquility in my life, and I plan to stay there.
Right, and I think that having family is another thing. Like Lost in Translations in Alabama, right? Mr. Bennett, you're on the East Coast, right? If you know what I'm saying, if we were to have as close as we are, I love you guys. If Mr. Bennett were to call me and said a man did something to his child, I'm on the fucking plane. I'm on my way to Jersey.
And again, and that's, but see, and for you, as much as I would love you for it,
absolutely,
I gotta protect you too, bro. So I would not tell you. There's certain things, because I love some people too much.
Right.
I can't share that with you, bro. I may have to take that to my grave with me or whatever, because because again, what you built, we talked about it the other night, but you're 40 years old, but just play on the Tuesday night, just the arc of your life, what you've done and what you continue to do in that 40 years. I can't let anything happen to that, bro. I'd have to protect you from you in that situation. So for some certain things that happen, I just certain family members where I just can't let that information out. We keep it here. I'll tell my wife, said, don't tell this person, don't tell them anything. We gonna handle it the way it's got to be handled. But for certain people, nah, this information it'll destroy them. And I that's why something like that I would never share with you, straight up. Because I know what kind of man you are, and you got to protect yours too, and I got to make sure that you're also protected.
Mr. Bennett, you can call me, because I'm just gonna send in the wolf. You ain't got nothing to worry about. I ain't getting on no plane, but the wolf is coming.
The wolf is coming. I hear
the
you.
wolf is coming. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got nothing to worry about.
All right.
Yeah. I just think it's overwhelming to know when you close to people, like and you love people, and something happened to them that hurt them. Like JT the other night when, his mom got sick or whatever. I felt that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it hit me, and when I talked to JT about his mom, I'm like, God damn. And I'm over here by the phone like, shit, I want to call him so bad. I want to call him so bad. I want to call him so bad. And the next morning, I say, fuck it, I can't wait no more, right? And I called JT to tell you, I called him, I said, man, how mama doing, bro? He said, man, I was just about to call your ass. I was like, man, tell me what, she okay, man? And he's like, she's doing fine. She had a fever. Her fever broke. So thank God that she's feeling better, man. But it's just like when people, Mr. Bennett's a good guy. If something were to happen to his wife, that can't go untouched. You know what I'm saying? Like if something were to happen to his daughter or his wife, their representation of him and his representation is a great man. And we can't. We as a men, we can't allow that.
But BMU, this is where I think like we talked about the other day, me and you and Brother Bennett, and this is where your greatness supersedes us. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm just saying in a sense that we need you to continue to be that messenger.
Is what now?
It's greatness.
Don't do that, man.
No. This is why I say this, and I'm not a guy to give out a lot of accolades. You know what I'm saying? I like to see the work done. But
slow down, Trey.
Wait. Reason why I say this because he's a younger guy. He's doing things the right way that we're struggling with right now. He's demonstrated the trust that he's been able to maintain and establish with his younger children, where all these other younger children, they just out here buck wild. Most of them, they don't come from that background. But for him to allow these spaces to come together, everybody on here is a responsible man. I would think most of us are being responsible, but he's allowing that space to come together, and he's having these real conversations for that 22-year-old who probably would have did what my brother BMU said he gonna do. They ain't even gonna think about it. They just gonna main everybody's heads off today based on that. So, but you a brother that it's almost like you have to be set up on the hill and just continue to pass the strategy to navigate it. You can't risk what you're building, and that's where the fight come in. But we need you and brother Lost in Translation to go find those dudes that stay in that mode. You got to find them when the lights ain't on.
The wolves. Yeah.
They move in silence. They don't move out and open. They move in silence. And you can sit there and with your hands out like, yeah, okay, I don't know what happened. I'm going home. You know what I'm saying? And let them do their work. But you got to continue to do your work.
Hey,
you know
Trey,
what?
the
I want
Lord
to pause
works in
for a
mysterious ways. You know what I'm saying?
I want to pause for a quick second because Anissa and Trey, we know, have a love affair. But I've been watching something here. I've been watching Grooming and Reviews and Wife School podcasts.
Ooh.
And I've been watching this for about 20, 30 minutes. They've been talking about everything together. They're talking about karate and beauty and what you're doing later on. And grooming, I don't know. Wife School, you want to address this? Because I think we all coming together over here at BMU Network. They said that BMU stands for Ball Men United. So I think that you and Wife School podcast will be, great for each other. Dr. Nakumbe said, you noticed that too? Hold on. It's a Grooming and Review. Wait a minute, Grooming and Reviews 101. This is why I show up every week to learn from you great guys.
Hey, listen, you know what beat me on this? It was one of the last things we did where Wife School Podcast used Grooming and Reviews as an example of like them going together or something. And his face kind of lit up. And he was quiet. I said, wait a minute. I said, you can let the example.
He's doing it now. Look at it. He just changed colors right here. He just
look at him. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVale. Look, wait.
Mr. DeVale.
Mr. DeVale.
Gonna pull a goddamn fucking head over here too.
I can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. I can't help it.
Goddamn right. The ultimate stunner. I can't help it that I look good. I smell good. I can't help it.
Dance all night.
What you want me to do? I'm having a hard time keeping these gators on the ground too, baby.
That's right.
You're jealous of the look.
Oh no.
You're jealous of the lifestyle. You're jealous of the prestige. You're also jealous that I got more cars than most of you got friends. I'm having a hard time keeping these gators on the ground too, baby. Woo! Hey, y'all need to
custom made.
Y'all need to alone, man.
I see Wife School podcast is addressing everything but her boo-boo. So grooming and reviews and wife school podcast. I think you guys were made for each other. We're going to make sure that we push the narrative here on every show. We're going to promote this beautiful union. And I think Mr. Bennett is at fault for this because he came up with the Bald Men United, and this is
I'm trying to tell you, Bald is in. Bald is again. We taking
Mandrell,
over.
take your hat off, Mandrell. Mandrell's bald as well.
We taking over.
No, I'm not bald. Actually, I got hair.
Oh, let me see.
No, it's just no. Come on, man.
Andrew saying he's gonna take his head off on the internet.
I'm nowhere near.
He's not going to take off his lace front.
Give me some credit, bro. I'm nowhere near that slow. You gotta be way quicker on the draw than that.
He got that mohawk.
So
I'm gonna give you to you too.
That I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. I can't help it.
Can dance all night long?
Okay,
leave him alone, man. Leave him alone, man.
You're not gonna take your head off?
No, I will not.
Would you ever say another motherfucking word to me?
I missed that. I'm not even looking at the screen. But yeah, exactly. That's how I feel. Don't ever say another motherfucking word to me.
All right, so
that's exactly.
We appreciate.
Yeah, it's a grooming and reviews will be changing colors like Zartan from that old G.I. Joe cartoon.
Oh, whoa! Wait a minute, Mandrell. White School Podcast said, y'all trying to get me in trouble.
Yeah, grooming. How about it?
How about it? What you get?
How about it, chef? Hey, he's a chef too by trade. He cooked.
So he cooking.
When he good, yeah, you know.
That's cooking's the ultimate aphrodisiac.
This is my way to get burned, isn't it? Because last week
the ultimate aphrodisiac.
And
this may be a Jerry Springer episode because Stacy B79 said, "Too bad grooming has someone."
Oh, I heard that.
Oh my! Hold on, wait a minute. Did we miss something?
We missed something.
Oh, don't hide that.
Somebody playing defense.
Now he looking down his phone. He must got a text. Bitch, stop playing.
He got a text me to us. You better clean this up right now.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
Didn't Trey mention earlier about going to the range?
Dr.
Hey, grooming got in trouble, y'all. He didn't get.
Grooming review.
Don't leave my hair in this. This shit I get out of it, huh?
That's right. You're gonna be teased in the barbershop.
Wife school fixed it. She said, "Ask Stacy B79. I'm not trying to break up homes.
Ooh.
We're talking about karate and snitches."
Okay.
Karate and snitches.
Yo,
that sounds like some side chick talk right
there.
What you say?
Snitches.
That's colorful. That's colorful. When you're done with her, come see me.
Yeah, grooming. Okay, grooming. I see you, boy. Okay, that's my boy, man.
I mean, he is right now.
My boy, grooming.
Here's what I like though. He has the perfect. Grooming has the perfect answer to all of this. Don't say a fucking word. I love it. Absolutely. Good job, brother. Listen, good job. He has not broken frame. He has said not one word the whole time. I love it.
He holds it on to that beard though.
Red. Somehow
they go Kratos.
Yeah, he said his Kratos looking good. Look going. He needs the red tattoo now. That's all he needs.
It.
Oh, come on, doctor.
Your flat Pillsbury biscuit pink pudding pop. Go get your flat assed Pillsbury dough biscuit pink Pop Tart and get your ass up off my live.
Who pissed him off?
His face. I can't see his face.
Now, wait now, JT. Wait now, JT. That ain't what you told me. You said you was a fan of Dr. Umar.
I ain't a fan of nobody, bro.
You said you was a fan of Dr. Umar Johnson. You did say that.
let me tell you something, brother. You will not be able to trigger me. You can throw gasoline on this bitch all you want to.
What you talking about?
Won't light. It will not light.
You did say that you like Dr. Black Dave, you brought that on yourself.
I got live talking against his ass. Don't come here.
Oh, Lord. You fat, bald head, no neck midget.
You get 21 lashes.
You fat, bald head, no neck midget. I sentence you to 3,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man.
And the thing is, that bit was so lame. Like now we're laughing at him. You know, it was just that lame. 3,000 sessions. I mean, come on, let's make it a little realistic.
Hey man, but that shit went viral, boy. It went viral. Oh
after
my
he was
God.
on the cell phone, after he was on that damn cell phone, act like he was talking to some
Lost in
cell phone.
translation. Look at the last message. Look at the last message. It's not wife. It's somebody's in trouble.
Yeah, she's blaming us. She's blaming. Well, I had nothing to do with it.
Man, Joe, you started the shit.
You
I
started
didn't I didn't start anything.
Yes,
I said he looked like a cartoon character from the old G.I. Joe cartoons. Y'all remember Zartan from the Dreadnoughts, you know? People that he changed colors when he get in the sunlight, direct sunlight. Yeah, he was getting red like that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, look at him, he's blushing. You can't blame the man for blushing, Stacy. Come on. It's just, natural blood flow. When you get put on the spot. Like everybody get nervous when they get the public speaking and stuff like that. Don't hold that against them.
Man, we talking about me and being monsters. We ain't talking about this shit.
Yeah, the sad part is JT.
That's the other side of being a monster. You gotta be
Major, are you a monster?
I don't know. I've been called one before, but
damn,
it's subjective.
By your girlfriend or by someone else in the public?
Someone else. Then define public.
Black man ain't shit.
Define public. I'm asking questions. I'm Diane Sawyer in this nigga. Look, I'm just saying. Like when I say public, I'm talking about like maybe somebody that was in the military with you, maybe somebody that I'm trying to think. Just anybody.
Just out on the streets.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can call that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Would you smack the shit out of somebody if they smacked the shit out of you?
No.
I am tired of being a cream puff.
Come on, Mandrill.
No,
you got to slap him, man.
No, I don't. The thing is, no, something like that would require something rather more serious.
See, I knew his answer was gonna be some shit like that. He's violent. You are a fucking monster.
Yep.
And I blame everything.
First of all, you don't slap a man.
But yellow skinned niggas always be violent though.
You don't slap a man. No, it ain't yellow skin. It's just the skin color got nothing to do with it. It's the short guys.
That's what you want, goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, word up. If you go to any prison in the continental U.S. and you go to death row, they're all guys 5'7", 5'8", 5'4", 5'5". They're all short dudes. There's not. There might be 3 6-foot guys that's 6 foot. That's like 5'10" and up.
So you a monster then?
Huh?
You a monster then? You 5'3"?
I'm not 5'3". Fuck you.
I'm sorry. You 5? What'd you say? 5'5"?
I'm 5'8".
Oh, okay. You added some numbers.
No, I don't lie my height. I don't lie my height. There's no point.
That's what heels on. Oh, he's 5'8" with heels.
I don't wear heels
on. You from Alabama? I know you got some cowboy boots somewhere.
That's Texas. That's black man's territory. They wear heels. Alabama, we don't wear heels. We don't wear heels. We don't wear boots here.
You got some boots on.
Shout out to lady Navoa in the chat. Shout out to her son.
She called me a man. That shit funny.
He was like a little man too. He was.
Oh my god.
Dre looked like he was 36 when he was 8. He was
the Morgan Freeman syndrome. Shit, Morgan Freeman was 75 years old when he did Glory. Shit.
It was a long day. It was a long day at the jungle gym.
He could carry a goddamn briefcase.
Man. Wow. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Man, Jarrell, go ahead, man. All jokes aside, man. What do you think about being a monster? Do you think most men are monsters, or they can control it, or do you agree with?
Not today. Not today.
Yeah.
No. And the old guys are too old, and they haven't taken care of themselves. You know what I'm saying? So they're not monsters anymore. They have they might have the mentality and the desire to behave that way when the occasion calls for it, but their performance will be shit. You know, they get run over by,
old man talk shit now, huh? They
talk shit these days.
They
come up on me.
Mama, you know what I'm saying?
They talk shit these days. They haven't taken care of themselves. They haven't kept up their training. They haven't taken care of themselves, and it's understandable. I mean, they had a lot to do. You know what I'm saying? They had a lot. You got to take care of your family. That's a lot.
So hold on. So you saying our pain talk a lot of shit?
He does. So does Trey. But
Ain't old though.
and especially JT, he does nothing but talk shit. Especially if I'm up here, he knows you're gonna talk shit when I'm up here.
Let me tell you something. Myself, I may not be a monster, but I got this thing inside me called nigga, right?
Oh, okay.
About nobody. Nigga don't give a fuck. He fucking Christmas up on Easter. He fucking all that shit up.
He messing Christmas up on Easter.
On Easter, he fucking it all. Motherfucker don't care.
So
I ain't seen it in 2 years though.
Where Black Man Footer go?
He has some things to handle.
Hey, you know what's funny? That JT is doing a serious impression of Bernie Mac, man, because he's throwing down them F-bombs. Like, I'm saying,
it's Saturday, man. Shit, it's
adjectives, nouns, and everything, man. That's funny, man.
It's Saturday morning, so yeah, I am. I've had a little spirit in my system. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I worked hard as hell this week, man. Fuck all that.
No, you didn't. JT, you don't do shit at work.
I ain't complaining, brother. I just noticed, man.
I worked. I worked, man.
No, you didn't, JT. You don't work hard. You work behind the desk.
That's still working hard.
That ain't working hard, JT. That ain't no hard work, man.
Hold on. See, this you must been seeing me in the chat room on all the other panels going at your ass. So this is your way of getting back at me. Brother, I worked as a mechanic for
30 years ago.
Yes.
And that was 30 years ago, JT. How's that relevant today?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you why it's relevant today. I still got those skills, but when I found out I could make more money behind a fucking desk, I did that.
Yeah. You know what? I did the same goddamn thing.
Guess what? Look, I can do my hands like this. I ain't got carpal tunnel.
You ain't got arthritis.
Yeah, I ain't got arthritis. I ain't got.
I know. I have a little. It comes from stacking the knuckles so much. I still do it to this day, though. I like it. I like keeping my bones dense and hard. But pause.
I don't know, man. We've all. I know myself, man. I put my body through some very extensive things, man. My knees, extensive. My hands, especially. I used to box, so I get what you're saying when you're saying that when it comes
I used to
down,
box,
yeah. So hitting shit and doing dumb shit that I ain't supposed to be doing, hitting fucking walls and shit.
Yeah, just a second note. Then it's fine for a long time. For a long time, it's awesome. And the thing is, like, instead of you having to hit someone full force, and they're knocked out. They're asleep. You know what I'm saying? You barely hit them, it seems like, and they just sleep. That's because your knuckles are so hard. And you know how to throw a punch correctly.
Right.
But then
I'm not gonna punch him. I'm gonna just choke his ass to fuck
JT,
out.
but then you turn 43. And then you do this. What the hell is that? You know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
What the hell is that?
I wear a whole different. Look, I got a whole different outfit on now. I got a 50 and over outfit now. This motherfucker, I was thinking about, that was this summer. I thought about going out there, back on the motherfucking court, play some basketball.
No.
You go right ahead.
I'm going to shoot around on the sideline and look at basketball. I'm not put out no more. I'm not going to go out here and run hard and all that. Nope.
JT, you got a couple games in you, man. I believe you at least got 2 runs in you. 2 runs, man. 2 runs, man. Come on, man. 2 runs.
Look, you want a free throw contest or a 3-point shooting contest? Yes, running a 3-on-3. Nah, bro.
And shout out to Crystal Light in the chat. Hold on. Shout out to Crystal Light in the chat. She's about to go to bed. Good night, Crystal.
All right, Crystal Light. Brother, I played 2 years ago. I played 7 games, full court at a court.
Too much.
I did.
And I haven't played all year. You didn't play it all year.
Before then, I've only played probably I took the whole year off. And when I did that, now understand this, I wasn't even playing with guys that was my age. Maybe we would have been doing well. But I'm playing with 14 to 16 and 18-year-olds running. Let me tell you, it took me 2 years to recover from running all damn day. I thought that I was still young because I felt good. You know what I'm saying? But when I got to the car and I was changing my shoes, you got to change your shoes, man. You can't keep and I was changing my shoes, man. And when I got up and I made this sound,
that's because you lost all your cartilage. You back down to gristle now.
Right, it was it. I was down to
gristle.
no
Gristle now, rubbing together. They rubbing like this now, man.
Yeah, no, I hope not, man. But what I did though, because I don't want to have to take off work because I have blew a knee out or something like that. I done had some brothers, man, that done did some dangerous things running these damn games. That's how I was, when I used to play basketball. Like I see now, they doing this damn half court shit. It still don't feel good to me, but I think that's what I'm gonna have to do is just, dumb myself down to just playing half court because I am 50. It's not the same thing. This body
we'll throw you the touch. We'll throw you. I'll get the rebound. I'll throw that half court pass. You right there, and you just lay it up. That's it.
Right. That's all that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
That's old man ball.
You stay down here. I'm gonna stay down here. We just gonna keep going.
Nah, you don't run. They run. Someone gets the rebound. They start the fast break going the other way. If they miss, you get the rebound. JT on the other end already. Throw it down.
I'm cherry picking, right? I'm
just
cherry
put it
picking.
in. I got you. I got you.
And that's all we're gonna have right there because it is too damn dangerous to be out here playing with and these guys, man. The way that they play now is everything is J's. I don't really see too many games where these guys is really going to the cup and running it. And that was my game. My game was I'm gonna run your ass crazy. It's gonna be you're gonna have a problem playing defense on me. I guarantee, and we play a pickup game, you gonna get subbed out playing with me. And even when it came down to defense and stuff like that. Now, my mind is still there, but my body was like, fuck you, man. What you doing? We can't be doing this no more.
Honestly, I would probably still prefer to run. Like, I hated playing with you guys, man. Trey and JT, RP in a game. If I got to guard one of you guys know all the dirty tricks. I'm getting elbowed. I'm getting stepped on. I'm going to hit the ground.
Mr. Petty, you don't have to worry about me. I'm not getting my ass on the court.
The dirtiest players in the game, bro. I would leave the court because we had the open gym in the summer. You'd have the old guys court and the young guys court. I played with the older guys. I'm getting bruised up. I got bruises, on my body leaving the court because y'all can't run with anybody. I'm getting grabbed by the shirt. I'm trying to set a pick. You grabbing me? You grabbing my shirt?
That's because the old guys was playing the 80s rules. You know what I'm saying? They was using the 80s rules on you, Mr. Bennett. You know what I'm saying? They was doing the Jordan rules. That was Hack and Shack. You know what I'm saying? You finna get the bad boys Detroit Pistons action. You know what I'm saying?
You see where I'm from? You understand where I'm coming from now. So you see,
I'm saying that's why they're saying the young guys all they want to do is run and shoot. I can do that. I can run up and down and shoot.
I was a junkie. So at 5'11", 6 feet. That was me.
You were throwing it down?
I was a dunker. I was literally a baller. I played both. I played pickup and I played
Yeah.
organ
Yes,
ball.
sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm playing with dudes that's
Yes.
6'4",
Yes.
but it's like I'm a problem to them. Defense, wise, you know, hustle, and I had a wicked J, and I still got a good, you know, I still got okay.
Oh, the J is the last thing to go.
No,
all the other skills aside,
here's
the
the thing. That's
jumping
cool.
ability is long gone, but the J you can still stroke it.
That's cool. But
My game was driving. I can't do that no more. I'm like, all right.
Of course not. That's what you get for playing. Listen, that's what you get for playing sissy games. Okay, sissy sport. Now listen, boxing, combat sports is where it's at. Greco-Roman wrestling, American boxing.
Look at this dumb
fucking karate. You know what I'm saying? I even took Wing Chun for 3 years. You know, now I'm doing MMA, Muay Thai kickboxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So that's what I do currently today. Those two. So yeah, fuck you.
You just
get like me,
shot.
JT.
Yeah,
exactly. I just get shot.
It is.
That's true. And it's true.
And now
I was on another panel, and we were talking about like this cop who, this Alabama cop who was tasing this guy, right? And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm gonna get the cops trouble. Why? I said, because they're not gonna do that to me. I'm just gonna get shot. What you mean, Mandrill? I'm like, you ever see me in person? No. I'm like, when you do see me in person, you'll understand. They're not taking any chances. They're just gonna look at me and they're like, yeah, because they already do. They put their hands on their pistols when they walk up to my car or my truck. I let the window down, and they take a look at my shoulders. They're like, yep. And their hands right on their hip, right on the gun. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yeah, I know what time it is.
Let me ask you a question.
They ain't dumb.
What are you gonna do once you get over 50?
No. The thing is, I've already picked a few exercises in the gym, like weightlifting exercises that I'm gonna retire. The barbell squat is one of them. I'm gonna retire that exercise. Like I'm 45 now.
I'm not there yet, bro. I squat now more than ever, man.
You do?
Yeah, man.
How old are you again? 50? What? 51?
I'm 54.
Okay, 54. You still squat?
I still squat, but I'm not doing a lot of sets. I do one set, very slow negatives, and turn it around. I do one set to fail. So I'll put up like 2, and it depends. I got a high bar squat and I got a low bar squat. Low bar squat, I'm up to 255 for about 12 reps.
What about the high bar squat?
High bar squat, I might get about 8 out of that. And I do it on a wet board.
How much weight?
And 225, 235.
That's it?
That's all he needs.
That's all he needs. All I need. I'm not again. I'm not.
He's
I mostly retired the deadlift. Deadlift.
Deadlift. I'm at the 500. I'm not doing any more. Yeah, I'm not doing any more than that. 500. I'm at the 500 on deadlift. I'm like, done.
Nothing to prove to nobody when it comes down to it. You live. The thing is this. Once, when I was really lifting, I was lifting like twice my damn size, man. When I was like bench pressing, twice my fucking size.
Oh, so do I.
Right, and you know how painful that shit can be when you haven't taken anything to keep like milk muscle and all that crazy shit.
You're not supposed to be taking that shit anyway.
None of that.
Muscle milk. He's on muscle. Hold up, Mr. Bennett can have this conversation with you now if you like JT and tell you when you went wrong.
Never did it.
Number one, drinking muscle milk.
No, listen, I've never did it. That's what I was saying.
Okay, good, because it's trash. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
What the thing was, I let the pain. I just go through the pain.
Yeah, you're supposed to.
You live 3 days in a motherfucking row, and your ass out here lifting all that heavy ass shit. Right.
I mean, I'm down. I'll take some branched chain. I'll definitely some amino acids. I'll definitely take those.
Yeah, some BCAAs or something.
BCAAs, and well, now I take the complete ones, and then also turmeric.
Yeah, turmeric
for anti-inflammatory afterwards. Yeah, turmeric and ginseng.
It's the best thing in the world. Turmeric and garlic. I've done.
No, well, here's the thing. There's nothing that's gonna repair muscle better than red meat.
True.
And you have to eat red meat. You get you a nice steak.
I got.
We don't have a diet.
I'm not as strong, bro. If I try to eat too clean chicken and fish and all that,
you're not as strong. No, you have to eat red
strong.
meat. You need fats. You need fats. You need carbs. You have to have them. They're macronutrients.
So
You
let's
have to have them, you know what I'm saying? But I'm with Mr. Bennett. When I'm eating nothing but chicken and fish, the strength goes right along with it, dude. And as soon as I get rid of the red meat, the strength goes right with it too. I'm like, I gotta take place.
I don't know what they.
I gotta take.
I don't know
I
what
gotta
they
take
put in
place
them
off of.
cows. I don't know what they injected them with. Whatever, but
I don't know either, man. I don't know either, man. But I gotta take place off of. I'm not eating red meat, dude.
For the under 40,
it's ridiculous, man.
Listen, we
So
obviously
even,
are all
even with
we all
cardio,
are speaking from an old point of view. Let's go to the 20-year-olds, 24-year-olds.
The same thing.
No. Time out. Because it was started to become a new dynamic in the the 2000s late. When I was coming out of high school, this is the guys that I learned from, that I trained from. These guys were seniors in high school, bench pressing 320, squatting 450, 500. Them boys, they ate their mama's cooking. They ain't have no protein shake. They ain't have no nothing.
Back in the day, when I played football, it said if you want to put on weight, it was PBJs. You get just about 3-4 PBJs and a whole quart of chocolate milk. That was the diet back in the day if you wanted to put weight on. Football coaches themselves. And peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Here's why. Like, okay, there's a lot of fat and sugar in the PB&Js, and sugar is gonna put weight on you. It ain't the fat, people. You need the fat. Okay, now you say, hold on. You say the mama's cooking. Cool. Mama cooked red meat.
Well, my mama cooked.
Yeah, right. Mama cooked red meat. But here's the thing, Trey. Here's the thing, Trey. Mama cooked red meat. And also, Mama was at home. Mama was at home cooking. You weren't eating a lot of processed nonsense. You were eating. The thing is, you were eating healthier than you do today, but you don't realize it because when especially back in the day, they didn't have so much. They didn't have so much MSG. They didn't have so many preservatives in food. The food was better. The food was better for you back then than it is today.
But also the dynamic that trumped all of that. We were outside beating our feet on that pavement.
Right, and muscles were developing. Muscles.
You were climbing up steps. You were hanging off stuff. You was the
climbing
trees. For a
trees.
little kid was the monkey bars. Right, I was the king of the monkey bars. But those muscles build character also as you growing up. A lot of youngsters don't have it.
And I remember I had 315. I had 315 in high school too as a senior, and then I stopped lifting so many weights for a while. So then I got back. Then I got back to it.
You might be able to answer this one because I know you got sons, right? So you got sons, right? When did you introduce? Because none of us have sons here. So when did you introduce your sons to either basic calisthenics like push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups and stuff like that? And when did you introduce them to weights?
From the time they was able to walk, I introduced them to exercise and calisthenics. I also have a daughter. She was the oldest, 6 years old. This is a true story. I was always been a sports guy, workout, gym. I played, whatever. So I told her when she turned 6, I'll never forget this moment. I said, baby, what you gonna do? What, Daddy, what you talking about? I said, baby, you gotta play a sport. You gotta do something. You gotta be active. Because she had the smarts. I was like, you're gonna be smart. She ain't worried about that. She cried. And where I lived at, I was in college at the time. She cried and walked around the block. God must have been with her. She walked around the block, made it back safe, came back. I said, well, baby, if you don't want to do that, won't you cheerlead? I don't know about cheerleading. I took her to her mama. My daughter started cheering at 6 years old, national champion, her junior year in high school, tumbling flip. I'm talking about backflip, state champion her senior year. Right now, she has a master's degree in child psychology. She's also a cheerleading coach. Now, my sons, age 14 was the time I got me a weight bench. My father, he bought it. Well, I know I had it. I know my parents bought it. Nobody put it together. I put it together, and it had the little bench press and the incline. I had some nice stuff growing up.
You had them plastic and cement plates.
Yes,
them DPs. Remember them DPs that you put the sand in there?
Yes, it was already in it. It came like that.
The concrete plates,
the plastic.
I had those when I was coming up.
So I put it together. I had it tight. Make sure I didn't like it wobbly. I started working out in my basement. that summer. I worked out every day, and there was some guys that lived behind me. They was older than me, and they was bench pressing about 340, 350. I stayed away from that. They just showed me what to do. So that summer, from 14, I used to do a lot of curls and chest. That's it. And I played football, so I was always running, play ball like I played organized school ball and in the neighborhood ball. So I was always active. They used to call me Popeye when I was 14 because my forearms grew so big because I was always working out. And at 14, and I realized at 14 is probably before that, you should just do more push-ups, isometric, natural stuff. But after about 14, it's a good time to start introducing that chest muscle. A lot of boys now, they only have a chest muscle. They have breasts. They don't have that chest muscle and shoulders. You know, so I think it's a good time.
My shoulders and my shoulders and my arms have always been my best features, and my back. Like my back was way more thick than it ever has been wide. It was always a thick back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the V taper. Yeah. And so when I ran track,
name thick back. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I did boxing. So I did
broke back. You broke back. Yeah.
The thing is, my thing was sprints. Right, running sprints that really trims the waist down and make your abs pop out. Like having the 3D abs, that's when they popped out, man. I was like, wow, look at this. You know what I'm saying?
Man, playing ball on that pavement made them abs tight too. JT, playing ball on that pavement was the same effect. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about basketball?
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah, it's the same effect, man. Basketball ain't nothing. That's not a sport.
You're kidding me, man.
Because he couldn't play. He was awkward. I could see Mandrell.
First of all, JT, let me tell you about me and basketball, JT. Okay. No. Listen. Look, I live down the street. I live down the street from a school, right? Black school, because it's a black neighborhood. But they had like a whole 2 full court basketball courts, right? They had 4 basketball goals, big ass court, cement pavement and everything. I go up there and try to play basketball with other people, right? Yeah, I knew at a very young age, basketball ain't gonna be my sport. I knew full well, like no fooling myself. There was no denying it, JT. This is not gonna be my sport. Like I suck at this. Bad. Like I am not good. You know what I'm saying? Like I am not good.
Do you know what basketball was for? I gotta say for myself, it was about grace. It wasn't about pushing people over. I was one of those basketball players, man, where I was real solid, right, on both ends of the court. And the thing was that I was just a regular size. I was just a normal size dude, but my game was crazy. So even if my team lost, I always got picked up. It was if I went to a new place and they didn't know, they wouldn't pick me up until they see me. I get my own squad, and I always wanted it that way anyway. I wanted to get my own squad. I can always have that scrub. I don't care. We got 4 dudes that's solid. I can get a scrub. I get the old dude that's out here that got the 3-pointers or whatever he could do. He can't do all that other shit. But we had a hustler. When I was a hustler on that motherfucking court, the thing was that I was very, very not just energetic, but I was very strong. I didn't know that I was very strong until somebody was like, this motherfucker, man, he's a problem. Like people used to get mad at each other because they couldn't stop me. For one, I'm left-handed. He's only gonna go to the left side. So you couldn't do nothing about it.
They can't stop it.
Where were you walking around back then, JT? About $165, 175?
Shit, I was 145.
Oh, baby,
145. Do you realize that? Wait. Do you realize that in the 8th grade I was 183 pounds?
Listen,
JT said he was just Slim Reaper.
Like I don't know, just muscle. You know what I'm saying? Like I was muscle. 183 in the 8th grade.
No, I was 5'8". I didn't get to be like 5'10", 5'11" until I was graduating from high school.
Wow.
That's what it was. I got to my peak once I got in the military. But in high school, I was like 5'8", 5'9", shit like that. But I was one of those dudes that inspired because I just had springs. And one of the things that me and my brother used to always do, we used to be up there in the morning time and we would play with just each other, doing one-on-ones. And then in the afternoon, we still there. It's 12 o'clock now. We would been there since 8 in the morning on Saturday. And now it's 12. And now everybody's starting to come up, and we would run 6, 7 games. We never stopped until it'd be getting ready to get dark outside, and that's when we would leave. We'd be at the park all day. So I didn't realize until you hear when people like what they doing now. You got all this dribble clinics, all this defense clinics. All we had to do was go up to the park. That was it. One of the people that I used to play with was Voshan Leonard, right? I don't know if y'all know who he was, but he used to play for the Heat. He used to play for
Yeah.
He was in my neighborhood.
Oh,
also,
wow.
Chris Webber, we the same age. So this is Chris Webber. You had Jimmy King. You had all these guys that came, and we were going. Not me, but they were going between Chicago and Detroit. So all the courts I used to play with, it used to be dudes that inspired to go to college or guys that were already in college. And the dudes that was already in college, they didn't want to play like they used to play before they went to college. So we'd come and bust their goddamn ass. But they wouldn't, they like, I ain't got shit to prove. I ain't trying to hurt myself with y'all motherfuckers. I just want to get exercise. But it was the same. So where I came from, basketball was a really, really big thing. And we used to go from east side to west side and play all day long. I was literally a basketball dude. And then, it was times where we used to just watch college basketball all day. Right. College basketball, come on, we'll be there all day with the dudes after we done got through running a couple of games or whatever. But that's what it was. And going into the military was something different because, like you guys were saying, I was already conditioned to run. I was already conditioned to do push-ups, sit-ups. Sit-ups had me, man, to a point where people used to look at my damn stomach and be like, that's a fucking washboard. Or, you in a club or something, girl, touch your damn stomach. They be like, what the hell is that on you? Because it was so damn tight, man. I got a goddamn, now I'm like 182. That's me. 182, 185. That's where I'm at now.
Right.
And if you see my stomach now, it ain't shit. I got a what I call a athletic dad bod. That's what it is. It's like, yeah, I'm a dad now, but it's still athletic. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, Dre, I'm surprised someone didn't snatch up. You have like the perfect bodybuilder build. Did you ever consider like competing, like actually dieting and getting on a stage and posing?
So what now?
Did you ever give thought to actually competing? Because again, at your height and everything back in the day, 182, certainly you had a bodybuilder's type of build. So did you ever think about getting on stage, competing and in a bodybuilding contest?
Oh, it made me want to lift weights is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Right, but I'm saying, but there's a difference between lifting weights and bodybuilding. I mean, you talk about
I guess I got me into it.
Right, I'm saying, but you never got on stage oiled up and posing.
No, I never actually did it. No, I never actually did it. I know what he's talking about. No, it's just I never actually competed in bodybuilding. No.
Good structure though. I mean, because most bodybuilders are short. Like I met. That's why I said you should never meet your heroes. Because I met Ronnie Coleman in person.
Oh man, he's not.
And actually, there's a lot of guys. Kevin Lebroni, Ronnie Cole, all these guys. They're like 5'8", 5'9". Now Ronnie, he's about as wide as this. I put my arm around him, and my arm didn't get to the other side. I mean, brother was, just wide. You know what I mean? But the height wise or whatnot, you looking down at most of these guys, man. It's most of those guys 5'7", 5'8", 5'9".
Yes. But now I think. Well, in Mr. Olympia, that's where you see they actually got tall guys getting there. Like, but they're not really that tall. They're like 6 foot tall. Right? There's like 6 foot tall.
There hasn't been a 6 foot Mr. Olympia. Probably since Arnold, because Lee Haney was 5'11".
Yep.
Dorian Yates was 5'11".
No, I did meet Lee Haney.
Right. He's like 5'11" and a half. Yeah. I mean, he's considered tall for his era, but you don't see since Arnold, you didn't have a guy over 6 feet tall winning.
No, you didn't. Arnold's not a tall. Hold on. He's 6'2". He's not a tall 6 footer. he's just 6'2", you know.
But
He's
you
a
see him
regular
on
tall
stage
guy.
though, he towers over people.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
because the rest of the world is short.
It's the average.
And, yeah, I never competed in bodybuilding. Like I said, Arnold, that's what got me interested in it, was
Same
seeing
here.
Arnold bodybuilding, you know what I'm saying, and all that. But actually step on stage and never did.
You might have been pretty good at it though.
Maybe, but I have to do roids, and I never wanted to do that.
No, not at that level. At if you 5'8", 182 in high school, I can see somebody getting you in the gym. You could be natural up until you hit like high amateur. Like when you get to nationals, and that's when you guys are on it. But some junior shows, those amateur shows or whatnot, they say lay off the roids until you absolutely have to get on them.
Yeah.
That's until you start competing nationally is when those guys start on. But you could have been on that stage natural and got away with it.
Those dudes don't last, man. Them dudes is dying in their 50s, bro.
They're dying now. Yeah.
Shit.
A lot of
now
them.
they're taking a cocktail. I mean, back in the day, they would take like Dianabol, whatever. But when they started getting to the growth hormone,
Dianabol, test,
it's
D-ball,
the cocktail, you know.
Yeah, now,
It's like give me 3 D-ball and I'm good.
Yeah, or either just regular test. It was either D-ball or test, and that was like the main thing. Now,
but then there's so many
I don't know what
different
half
forms
these
of tests.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't know half
test sip, test prop, test enanthe. I mean, it's like you're taking through even the tests. You're not just taking regular tests anymore.
No, I don't know what half the stuff these kids are taking today. Who?
Do you know who John Brown is?
No.
Yeah, he's the one. He discovered Sean Ray. He started Sean Ray, Melvin Anthony, all those guys on the West Coast bodybuilding on the West Coast. Yep, he got Sean Ray.
His son is he got 3 sons
in the NFL. He's got 2 sons, I think. In the NFL, he's got 3 sons.
One is in Detroit. The other one is in Chicago.
Yep.
I don't know what the third one is, but man. When I didn't know who he was until when I looked him up. I said, I remember this guy. I remember him.
He was one of the first guys. He'd be popping and locking on stage and whatnot.
And he got St. Brown, and he got 2 St. Browns. He got one on Chicago. Well, 3. He got one in Chicago and one in
Ross St. Brown. He played for Detroit.
Yeah. That's his father. Yeah. Yep. That was, and that dude was he was big as hell. He's small now.
But he never won here. He again too tall for these shows. So he did his thing. He went to Europe. He went to Europe and he dominated like that European scene doing seminars and whatnot. Because back then, a lot of those guys, they didn't see a lot of bodybuilders like that. So he made a fortune over in Europe, and that's where he met his wife and had his sons and everything. But again, if you're 6 foot tall as a bodybuilder, it is very difficult to compete at the top levels because you just can't fill out that frame enough.
Yeah, man. The muscles don't lay right past 6 feet tall for some strange reason, man.
Well, it's beautiful. Well, see, my thing is, I'm glad they came out with that classic physique division because that allows for the taller, like this guy Chris Bumstead. I think he's like 6 feet tall. But you have that's like that 70s style physique. It's not
those
ridiculously
guys
wide or massive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those guys
pro ranks,
right?
Yeah, the pro ranks. Those guys are just wide. I mean, it's just like they look like Hulks, all of them. But if you want that classic, the V table, the small waist, the flowing lines, and the classic posing and whatnot. Now these guys come out now. They're so big, all they can hit is a double by and the most muscular like this. And they walk off. There's no creativity in the posing or whatever, but the classic physique guys, they bring it back to like back in the 70s and 80s where guys would spend hours on their posing routines. It was an art form to try to do that stuff. But you don't see a lot of guys doing that now. Now it's usually you hit a muscular in the back pose or whatever, and you walk off stage. No. And then they amping up the crowd like this, like cheer for me or whatever. It's like it lost the aesthetic.
So you young guys, 21 and ready to venture out into the world, you heard it from the old heads. The greatest time to get that muscle is when you're young, baby. Don't wait till you get 50. Don't wait till you get 50 and think you're going to get a 6-pack. You might get a pack, but it ain't going to be a 6.
You're going to get a 1-pack.
You're going to get your keg. That's what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying?
If you want it, you can be getting stronger at the same time you get your money up.
Just listening to Mandrell, listening to the things that him and a lot of these other guys talk about when it comes down to your diet, right? when it comes down to what you eat and things like that, how you do it in moderation and the things that you eat. One of the things that I learned is that I never eat one thing all the fucking time. So that's why I probably never had a problem with like high blood pressure. It was a little bit high just because I'm getting older or whatever, but I learned how to maintain that. But it came down to what I eat also. One of the things that was really good with me, because my metabolism is very high. So when I do eat carbs, man, it burns that shit like crazy. I've never had to use any supplements to make my energy go. I just had to change my diet. That was it. That was where it came down to. That's why, like, if you was in the military, they eat what? A lot of starch, a lot of them rice, a lot of potatoes. On every meal that you had, you either had rice or potatoes, or you probably had both of them damn things. And you had eggs, and you had all these other things that you got. Now, when you go in there, man, when I seen what these mess halls be having now in these military, these chow halls be having, it's like a fucking, like a restaurant now. It's like, damn.
Back in them eggs you ate, were they the real eggs or them powdered reconstituted eggs?
No. It depends. It depends on where you were stationed. Because some places they was using that powder egg bullshit, but some of the places I know that I couldn't stand it. You could tell. You could tell.
I wasn't even egg whites. It was. I don't know what that was. It was.
One place that I was at, man, when I was over in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri.
Oh man, I was there.
Man, that child hall was so out cold, and everything was. I mean, they had a station, an omelet station that was just crazy. I'm like, give me everything. They had rice. I was like, put the rice in there too. I want you to fill it up. It was like the way that they did, but we worked hard. And if anybody ever been in places like that, is truck drivers, engineers, that was where it was, and it was a training center. So it was something a little bit different. When you had those training centers, man, they need you to have as much energy as possible. So they're gonna fill you up with a lot of carbs. They're gonna fill you because you're gonna burn that shit off. You're gonna burn all that stuff off, man.
Right.
What I liked about it though was the lifestyle, not the training part of it, of like basic training. What I liked about it was the actual being in an actual unit that was actual military. Now there's some units that ain't even military. I've seen that. That's how you had those dudes that would be 20 years, 21 years in, and they ain't never been anywhere.
They never got the uniform dirty, no nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing. They found that they got the, but it didn't work good for me. That would have never worked good for me. I needed to have all of it. I needed to have the getting it out the mud. I had to have the deployments and all that because I wouldn't have stayed. I would not have stayed. I couldn't stand what we call garrison. I hated garrison. Yeah. I hated being in the world. I like to be in foreign places because it was dope as hell to see a community of people in these foreign places, and you make it like a family. So it was like we were forced to be family. So everybody, see, when I was over in Fort Lewis, it sucked. I didn't like it because you can go other places. You can go to Seattle, you can go wherever you want to do. So you're not really in that family. There's no camaraderie when it comes down to soldiers. But if your ass was over in Turkey, or you was over in Germany, or your ass was in Korea, you had no choice. You had no choice but to make your family right there, especially when when you married and stuff like that. So yeah, man, that shit. It goes back to here. Let's go back in full circle. Us being what they consider to be. I don't like the word monster. I like the word weapon. I think we all as men have that. I think we have it. I just think that it's kind of like energy. I think it's kind of like directed when you're growing up, it's kind of, it grows you into being crooked. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. One of the things I looked at was I never wanted to reveal how powerful I am to someone until I need to reveal it. It's kind of like your gun. You don't want nobody to know that you got a gun until it's time for them to see, yep, he got a gun. It's too late for your ass to do anything now because I got to do what I got to do. If I pull it on you, chances is I'm going to have to go ahead and pull that trigger on your ass too. it's the same thing with us. We, as men, we are a weapon. We are absolutely a weapon, but it comes with being competent. It comes that shit right there. If you're not competent, if you just, going off of emotions and you just putting your energy just out there wild, you can just fuck everybody's life up, including your own life.
Right, definitely.
If you're a person that has some type of control over it, that's why it's kind of dope for us to see Equalizer and all these other men that is very dangerous, but they are stoic.
Right.
Stoic. You're like, damn, you ain't gonna know that he about to whoop your ass yet because you steady talking shit to him because you don't know. He's not revealing it to you anymore.
Right.
You know what I'm
But I
saying?
would still say that, just coming back to what Trey was, that's why I asked him earlier. I do think, and again, if I had sons, I think I would have did something a lot similar. Getting your sons into exercise as early as possible.
Yeah.
Because I think there's something, because even now, like when I do personal training now, and I think Mandrell, he can apply this also, it's more than just the physical training. For me, it's simply the physical training is just a device, but I'm not just training the body, I'm training the mind also. I mean, most of those guys I work with, they're like, they're IT people. You know what I mean? These aren't athletes and whatnot. I work with the average person who maybe not has even been to a gym before. But what I'm teaching them is just, again, how do you overcome obstacles? How do you, when things are hard, it's like, yeah, you may not want to do an extra 3 reps unless I tell you to, but you might want to quit at 7, 8 reps. I'm saying, no, I want 3 more reps, pushing people to like their breaking point, and then getting them to believe that, I'm more powerful than I thought I was. So I think there's an aspect through the physical training, even the scriptures, for religious people, said physical training is of some value, because a lot of those, that idea of striving and overcoming, it not only just applies to it, it's your whole life. So I think that's one of the first places you can start. If you want to create the monster, the weapon, or whatever you want to call it, I think that starts with that. Get your sons up in the morning. Okay, let's do, sets of push-ups or whatever, or go on a run with me, or get them into some things. Even just guys I've mentored over the years. A lot of times I'll be like, look, come work out with me. I mean, it's like, come to the dungeon. That's why I call my basement gym. I call it the dungeon. Come to my dungeon, and we're gonna work some things out. And in the interim, while we talking between sets or whatever, yeah, I'll be dropping some knowledge to you or whatever. But it's that sort of environment helps to pull a lot out of a man and out of a young person in particular. So I think it definitely starts there. And if anything, I'm sure all you guys have seen them 60s gym videos we talked about in the past, where they were doing calisthenics. Because again, a lot of those kids, the reason why they were doing that, because you could have been drafted. So you can't be going into the military overweight and all that kind of stuff. So them gym classes were no joke back in the day. I think there's something that we're missing with, I think, a lot of young people. When I'm not saying give up all of the the video games and stuff like that, but incorporating that, having that part of your life and active. No one's saying you're going to be a all-state athlete or whatever, but just having it, I'd rather you have it than not. Now, what you decide to do with that, that's up to you. But if I had sons, like, as early as I could, I'd be working them out. Say, come on, we working out. You don't have a choice. Just like, you don't want to go to church, we go to the gym. We going down to the church. We gonna get this work. You gonna get this work in today. And
I can tell you one of the.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question real quick. I'm gonna let you go, Trey.
All right.
What do you think if they allowed gym class to be what it was when we were in school, where you climb the rope?
Honestly, I think that would be a start. Because again, all these things I'm saying, but all these things we're seeing with young boys, and we're talking about mental health and all these things with young boys, it is at crisis level.
Yeah.
And I think where a lot of this stuff can get fleshed out is, again, through just the physical exertion. Because even the gym classes now, I mean, even when I was even leaving school, I mean, you would play softball, but you're not working out. I mean, you're waiting for your turn. You know what I'm saying?
What we did in elementary. In elementary school, Go ahead, Trey.
I remember elementary school, we did calisthenics. We did burpees. We did push-ups. Everything was we lined up in rows, like rows of 50, and we would do that exercise. So I remember that. But by high school, all that stuff, we had fit tests. You had to pass gym. So you had to pass gym by doing a certain number of push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups. You had a certain number that you needed in order to pass. Now you just get an A for showing up.
But do y'all do y'all remember that rope, man? Do y'all remember?
Oh yeah, the rope. Yeah, you had to climb up, touch the ceiling, and come down.
You couldn't just slide your ass back down from that rope. You had to go up the rope, and if you get up
and then
there,
climb down. Yeah, it was time.
You had to climb back down. But I remember,
but that was a building block. That was
scared of doing that.
It was.
But yeah, it was a lot of kids that were scared of doing that. And this was the thing. This is what I'm saying. When I went in basic training, I remember doing the obstacle course. And it felt the same way with me because I wasn't scared of it. There was this big ass wall that we used to have to climb. Everybody was doing you had people doing all the other shit. They were going up under the concertina wire or the barbed wire. You know, they were getting dirty and all that. Soon as they get to that damn wall, because that wall was about 18 feet. It was probably a little bit, and you go up that wall. It was one thing.
But how'd you climb? What you did a rope to climb up the wall?
No, you went up the wall because they had you climb it. It wasn't like a wall. It was like planks. It was like planks, and you climb up the planks.
They had spaces in between the planks.
So it wasn't like them rock. So it was like them rock climbing walls. It was like that, or
no? It was different. It was out in the middle of a field.
They had spaces in between.
Big telephone poles, and it was like two 6x12s in between, stacked sideways. We had it in air assault, and the higher you went up, it was probably about 35 feet up in there. The higher you went up, the further away the planks got. So when you get to the top, the plank might be at your neck, and you got to get over that.
Yeah.
With no rope and come down. So I know exactly what he's
doing. So many people, man. It was so many people that, and I'm talking about I probably had a platoon, and we probably did the whole company. So we talking about 300, 400 people. And man, it wasn't a lot of people that could go. That's where they would drop out at. Right at that shit right there. Because when you go up, it's hard to get over it and then to go down. Most people used to be like, fuck that, I'm climbing back down here and I'm gonna go around the wall. But the drill sergeants wouldn't let you go around the wall. They'd tell you, get your ass back up there. The only way you gonna go around is to go over that thing, right? So that was
like that Full Metal Jacket. Remember that movie Full Metal
Jacket? That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what they're talking about. Mr. Bennett, I never understood why people had trouble with that. Like, it never dawned on me. I'm like, why do you have a problem? Just take one leg, put it over, and then hold on, put the other leg over. It was super easy. But for some reason, these guys would get to the top of that thing, man. And mentally, they're gone. It's just they got psyched out, and it's just like, I don't know what the psych out is. It's just like me. I remember when you get to the because we
how tall is your roof?
Hold on, hold on. Yeah, I'm fine with heights. Don't scare me. I was airborne, dude. I wouldn't air assault. It's gay. But anyway, I was airborne.
Listen, I'm both air assault and airborne. Ranger.
So was that. You're not a ranger. You're not even ranger qualified. You didn't go to ranger school. So anyway,
I could have been.
Maybe you ain't gonna go to ranger school. As soon as they take you out there and starve you half to death, JT, you like, man, fuck this. I'm out. I quit.
I went to the first step of being in ranger school so I can get some points, right? That was that pre-ranger bullshit, right? That I was in. Yeah. And
you went to RIP?
Yes.
Oh, that was brutal, dude. Every day, just brutal. Mr. Bennett. Mr. Bennett, Ranger introduction course was harder than actual going to Ranger selection. Really? Every day, just brutal. Every day.
Almost 500 people, bro. When it ended, we had 13 people.
Because people were quitting or getting hurt. They either quit or got hurt, Mr. Bennett. That's how they got out of that. They either quit or they got hurt.
Now, mind you,
not a lot of people got hurt.
Right. I was an instructor,
People
class,
quit.
so I couldn't go back because I had troops. So I wanted to quit. I couldn't go back. We had 10
They
days.
say I quit. Yeah, you can't go back and say you quit. You can't.
No.
You had to endure all of
I
that.
had to do it.
Oh my God, Rip was
That
horrible.
shit was crazy. I
Rip
said,
was horrible.
I'm not doing this shit.
Mr. Bennett, Rip was brutal.
Yes.
Even by my standards,
believe you.
even
I
by my
believe you.
standards, Rip was absolutely horrible.
But
Oh my
to
God.
JP's point, not only again,
Oh
not
my
only
God.
am I an advocate of the gym classes, but I honestly wouldn't mind if we brought some sort of selective service back. Honestly, it doesn't mean that you automatically get drafted or whatever, but again, let you like the Israeli.
Would you bring that for the women too? Would the women have to sign up as well?
If they wanted it.
No.
If they wanted it.
Service.
But if you want to talk about a mandatory,
yeah, they go.
No, wait a minute. Let me get something straight. So sign up for the selective service if it was for all citizens, right? That doesn't mean women have to go on the front lines, right? Because there's all kinds of behind the scenes shit that needs to get done.
Yes.
Like, I believe that the Israeli women have to sign up for duty, just like the men do over in Israel.
Right.
They ain't all on the front lines. So the women have a right to vote. They have all kinds of shit. Why wouldn't they be on the list for selective service
that's
like
a fair
everybody
point.
else?
But see, I would want them to go. I would want them to go again
tell me why.
for the physical training. Like I said, for me, like I said, it's the physical disciplines. For me, at least the way I've always captured it, it always leads to the other disciplines. It leads to the mental and the spiritual discipline. So I think it's good for anyone to go through that kind of work. Like when if I train females, I treat everybody the same. It's like, look, you got to do it just as anybody. It's the only thing that, based on your strength level. I'm not going to have you lift as heavy as a guy does or whatever. But I look, some ladies, they can, especially in the leg department. I know to put them on the leg press or whatever. They can do as much as some of these guys I know, or calf raises. So again, everyone's going to work within themselves. But I think that aspect of it, and then knowing possibly how to use a firearm, learning to live under some discipline for a year. You turn 18, service or whatever, you put it in. I would even put some incentives there. If you got student loan or whatever, look, sign up for a year, take a year of student loans off, something. But I'm just saying, I just think it's so important for people to develop themselves physically, that all those other things, especially if you incorporate it right. I mean, that's one of my ambitions when I retire. I want to have like these camps. Trey, you might be able to relate to this, but just have these camps. Like, give me a summer with some boys, and we getting up every day. We working out. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna do the stuff, but we're gonna do the rappelling. We're gonna do the rock climbing. We're gonna do the martial arts training. We're gonna do etiquette, how to speak, how to dress, how to. I just give me about 20, 25 boys for a summer. And let me get some dudes like Trey and Mandrell. Let's get some guys against, like, we're going to work these boys for the summer. They go back to their homes or whatever. We hope they come back next year. But from high school age, from like, say, 12 to 18, get some guys together. And I think that would be a powerful thing. So that's actually on my bucket list. That's one of my, when I retire. When I retire, that's when I really want to get into something.
We had a place in New York called Camp Menacing. And they used to do that. They had the boys and the girls that up in Port Jervis, New York.
Yep.
And they had different age brackets.
Right.
They took people out of the inner city and put them out there where you could actually see the stars and shit. And it was fantastic, right? I mean, you had to separate the boys from the girls. They had all kinds of counselors. The thing that killed it was the insurance.
Yeah,
that's the
which
thing.
Is to answer your question, JT, why we don't have that. Like, remember those guys climbing that rope? you weren't hooked up to a harness or whatever. You lost your grip. Now you can't even go. Like, you go to these rock climbing walls at the stuff. One, you got to sign the waiver. Then they hook you up with all the belt harness and all this stuff. So in case you fall off, you're just going to be suspended in midair. So but back then, there was no. There's
no safety at the bottom. There was nothing. It was just a basketball floor. It was just on the floor. That was it. That was it. There was nothing underneath you. And like, if we sit back and think about it now, like we're talking about it, like, yeah, that was
we were
crazy.
Strong. We were strong.
If someone was to slip, I never seen anyone slip. I never seen anyone slip, but and I've never slipped myself, but I made it to the top. But I'm thinking about it now, like, what if someone made it to the top and then slipped? Holy shit, dude.
We never thought about that though.
Oh, we never thought about it. We never thought about it. Like he said, we were strong.
You don't have to go that far. The monkey bars might have been the most litigious thing that could ever be put in a playground.
But that was in the hood, though.
Monkey bars, man, forget it.
The monkey bars, man.
There was no forgiveness in the monkey bars. You fell off the monkey bars, man. There's no forgiveness nowhere.
Man, there's no forgiveness in that rope. I'm thinking about that now. Like, what if someone made it to the top and then fell and bust their head wide open? Oh my god!
Some of those ropes were just straight, and then some had like the knots.
Yeah, had the knots in it.
Knots, not everyone had the knots.
That's right.
You had to,
It's now line.
The knots was almost like cheating.
If you didn't have a grip, remember your grip.
That's right.
Strip was good.
Was strong.
Go up it.
But the ultimate
Yeah, but you were light though. You were like 145 pounds. That's like when you're heavier, man. Like look, I don't know if I couldn't do a rope today. I'll tell you that. Like I said, when I graduated college, I was 158. Now I'm 228 right now. So I don't know if I can even handle it. I can still do chins. I'll knock out 20, 25 chins, but that rope, man, I don't know. No, I think I got too much body weight at this point.
Ultimate challenge.
As far as like the selective service, right, in women, right, and being in, let me tell you, from just my experience of having women in units, there are problems, man. There are problems, especially like in training. One of the things I used to hate by being around women that were in units where they ain't had no business being in that type of training was because, for one, we used to, especially when I used to do cold weather training, they couldn't do it, period. They always wanted a dude to do something for them. That's one problem that we have. They be in a damn warm-up tent all day talking shit, and they distracting the other damn soldiers, the men soldiers, because they like them. Now, the other part is that they're going to get fucked. And now you got to deal with men being up under either Article 15 or a court martial because they done fucked around.
I hear you, but those things are correctable situations. That's not the point. We got to think past that. Women want to be equal. They want to be full citizens. They should not be exempt from the things that the rest of the citizens have to do. So you don't put them, the thing about segregation is one of the problems that we have is that you separate them from the men. You can separate the men and the women. That's just policy. And what I'm saying is they shouldn't be absolved from being full citizens because they're going to get fucked. They're going to get fucked anywhere. I mean, come on, that's not a good enough reason.
No, it is when your ass is deployed. It is when your ass is deployed.
We ain't talking about being deployed. They're not going to be deployed to the same thing that the men are going to be doing. There's so many different facets of what we have in the permanent defense. We can't run away from the fact that we have women. Come on. I mean, they can't be absolved of their duty because we're worried about fucking them, man. Come on.
Hold on. The problem is not that. This is the thing. If you was in the Army, like I was in the Army, you get promoted from E5 and E6 on promotion points. That means that anybody can get, as long as you got those promotion points, you did what you're supposed to do, you get the promotion points, and that's how it goes. You got a lot of women that are in positions of leadership that should not be there. And I'm talking about a lot of them motherfuckers that's in units that they have no business being in. Now, if they're gonna be a medic, if they're gonna be in other shit, quartermaster, that's cool. If they're gonna be on the post office, they're gonna be in S4, if they're gonna be in all that shit right there, I have no problem with that. But you got a lot of these women being in units like being a mechanic.
But we're not talking about that though, because they're not required for selective service, and they're in those positions. So we're not talking about that situation. We're talking about if we bring back selective service, women should be required to sign up as well. And then we fix those issues of logistics of where we station them. Yeah, I agree with you. You know, I don't believe that women should be in certain positions. I've said that on this thing. Like for example, Nikki Haley shouldn't even be running for president because I don't think a woman should be president of the United States. Now, and wait, let me finish. And the reason why they shouldn't be, if you saw the last debate, if you're the president of the United States, you can't have men coming to protect you because a guy said something that was harsh to you, right? Vivek said something to her, and big fat ass chicken wing Christie, you know, jumped in like the simp that he was. And I'm saying, wait a minute, man, she's going to be president, so she can't take the fact that she didn't know no provinces in the Ukraine. Yeah, she get a hit for that. So what I'm saying is, if they want to be equal, let me tell you, women have the right to vote means a lot of things to it. There was a reason, I'm going to be short. There was a reason why they didn't have the right to vote. There was a reason that black men after slavery got the right to vote before women, white women, because women vote differently than men. Do you think we would be talking about Roe v. Wade if women didn't have the right to vote? Do you think we'd be talking about half the shit that we're talking about, LBGYNs and all that other bullshit, same-sex marriages and all that shit, if women weren't voting? You know, so their right to vote comes with a consequence. So if their right to vote comes with a consequence, they should be required to do every goddamn thing that voting matters, that voting means. You know, so I think we just keep missing that shit. They shouldn't be exempt from a goddamn thing. Nothing.
I agree with you. And JT, in your argument, okay, you said weren't about sex, right? Now just think about it. One of the probably the greatest songs in the military when you in basic training is Jody Got Your Girlfriend.
That's right.
So think about let's go with today's market. What we seeing in our fighting community, our youngest spirited people. We too old. We in the background now. We loading the weapons. We coming up. We ain't going out. We need the young bucks and the young women to go out on this thing. They out there fighting anyway. So get out there. Keep your head low. Learn how to hit 3 center mass when you out there. Get your exercise in. Lose all your extra weight. They get all that benefit. Now, one, they not in the background just reckless because the men are fighting. So as long as they can do other things, medic, they can even do control the drone out there, whatever it takes as a family, as a whole team unit. Because even the young men, when I ask young brothers, if it happened right now and they said we need everybody, how many of y'all would go fight? Oh man, I ain't gonna fight. And you know what the law say in America, you don't fight. That's almost like treason, especially if they call on you. So where brothers gonna go? They can't run to Canada. They ain't gonna be able to run nowhere. They're gonna have to either stand out, fight, or they're gonna have to figure it out. This is where we are in today's market, in today's world, because it's too much, and it could swindle its way in, but who's gonna fight? And America ain't training the young black men to get out here and fight for it. If America trained the young black men, man, America will be #1 in the world. #1, because brothers are going to put their life into it. They're going to be smarter. They're going to protect the world. The communities wouldn't even be like that. Even if he was single, he can go in there and create a legacy. Women can do the same, but as long as this chaos is going on, man.
I'm not saying that there's things that women can't do. And maybe I'm speaking probably from just from experience. This is just from my experience of not only just being in leadership, but being, counter to them also. One of the things, it's just, I think it should be that there's a limit to what it is that they're doing in the military, because that's a serious motherfucking job. I don't care what nobody fucking say.
I can agree with that. I agree with you.
And I know one of the things is that in our military, man, no matter what it is that you can think of, a job that you can think of, There's a job in the military for anybody. Think of any civilian job. That job is also in the military also. So I'm not saying that. So when we talk about selective service, maybe so, but we do have to change, because you did mention that we definitely will have to change a lot of the rules whatever it is that's in there. So I concede to that part.
So now we're on the same page. Yeah, I think we should change some stuff around. You know, that's just me, and it really sounds chauvinistic, but it's really not. I think we have enough evidence that women are great at certain things, and there's certain things that they shouldn't be in charge of, even if they administratively can do it. Right? I mean, you know, mayors, police chiefs, things where you have to lead a whole bunch of men. You know, I don't think a woman should be in charge of a bunch of men like that.
In the military, female colonels. So
and generals. So that's do we don't even have selective service for women, and we got female generals. So all I'm just trying to say is I'm not saying there's no place for women. I'm just saying that they think differently than us. It doesn't matter what kind of uniform they have. If they were a CEO for a company, I can see some of that, especially if you talk about policies and processes. They can do shit like that. But if you're a police chief and you got to put a workforce of men out there, majority of men, you know, men, we try to understand that we take leadership because it's the position and not the person. But you can't 100% completely separate that shit. You know, and you know, so the fact is that, you know, I think we should look at like women in male prisons, right? Female guards in male prisons. Guys ain't got no access to box, and you got female guards walking around, and vice versa is no good. Males in female prisons, right? They say half of the cases in New York is because the male guards in female prisons. You know, so some things don't need to mix, but these things are not hard to figure out if you understand anything about human nature. We keep putting these bullshit rules in front of nature, which is stupid. You know,
you're absolutely right. Let me tell you, one of the reasons why I can say that you're right, because I'm going over, because I've had a lot extensive, experience in the military. I've done seen a lot of sides, not every side, but a lot of sides of the military. So you have some places where they have co-ed barracks or dorms. Right. They're called barracks dorms now, but they have co-eds right next door to each other. They share bathrooms and all that shit. And you're right, because you're talking about people anywhere from the age of 18 to probably in their 30s. What if somebody never gets married, right? They're in the barracks. So is it crazy? It is very crazy for someone to be, because barracks ain't nothing but apartments, for us to have just a room or a floor with, this is free people that's taking care of their the country, right? They're serving their country. It's weird to be on be in a barracks and it's an all-man floor or all-man barracks, and you 30-something years old, and you can't be next door as a 30-something-year-old man or a 27-year-old man being next to a 30 or 20-something-year-old woman. You're all adults. I get exactly what you're saying on that part right there when you were saying it, and I'm like, yeah. Just rolling over it, because I hated that part about being in certain units where it was like that. I'm like, man, we grown ass motherfucking people. Why is it that we are treated like, college students? Even in college, we should be able to make our own decisions, regardless. However, I think that in the military, it was to protect the men from their own wrongdoings. When I tell you, bro, it is so many motherfucking men that got cases on them when it comes down to fraternizing, or it could be of, grape or all these different things. So I think it's like, yeah, they have to change the laws, but you don't want to be treated. This is why a lot of people in the military ended up getting married, because they felt like they were being treated like kids, like teenagers. You never get married. You in your 30s, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about being in your 40s. By the time you're in your 40s, you should be high ranking. It don't matter what rank, if you whatever, you can get your own hookup then. But yeah, I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, yeah, man, that's electric service should be for men.
We got an echo somewhere.
Yeah, somebody. I think it's you, Trey. Yeah, you gotta window open.
There's still an echo. No,
It's gone now.
I think it's funny hearing guys that have experienced the military and maybe have experienced it at a younger age, and how that dynamic plays out. Now that you've experienced it, you've worked based off the new. It's almost like, and the military ain't for everybody, but it's good for that guy who's right on the fence. He wants to work. He wants to go to college. He wants to be in the streets. He's right there. If that guy right there does well in the military, because it gives them a sense of direction. And once you get that sense of direction, it propels you beyond you can ever imagine. So a lot of guys, we speak from the other side. We've actually had to walk all of that. And now here we are. But for that young guy, that even young females, that's why females seem to do well in the military. If, like the toughest female in the school, in high school, she'd probably be one of the best soldiers.
That's one, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because she's tough. She's like, yeah, I can handle all this. And it's all about the mind, really, in the military. Everything else is just basic training is like a long-ass football practice. You get in the mud, though. That's all it is.
But Trey, let me add something to what you're saying.
Right back,
with the sisters, right? It ain't that they have to be tough. Sending them to the military put some structure to their lives where they have some responsibility and they get to understand that they can't move like men. They got to be able to. They'll probably be more. I'm not talking about the ones who are going to go to straight, but if you have the right discipline, the right separation, those women understand that virtue matters. Being chaste matters. Being disciplined matters. And with women, that's more. I think that's actually more important. Not more important, but it's more direct than men, right?
Right.
Because I have to leave. I'm gonna just segue to this. On Monday, me and Easy Money, we're gonna have like a debate over one of these videos I did that I said female promiscuity shapes the sexual marketplace.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the title. And Easy Money says there's no such thing as a sexual marketplace, but I'm gonna talk about the fact that the reason why we have a chaotic sexual energy in our marketplace is by the increased promiscuity of women. And because men, we've been a constant, our sexuality has been a constant since the beginning of man. It doesn't ebbs and flows. Women's sexuality ebbs and flows. In the places where women are more chaste, the market energy in the marketplace is toned down. Where their promiscuity is unleashed, the sexual energy in the marketplace is chaotic. And that's what we're going to talk about on Monday. So we're going to have a debate back and forth. So that's about 6 o'clock thing on BMU Network. So it's going to be me and Easy Money Jones. And you know what section he's on, because he doesn't believe there's anything such thing as a sexual marketplace.
Yeah,
but after we finish chopping it up, then we're going to bring people up.
Yeah, but here's the thing, he's a weirdo.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He's a fun dude, man.
Man, Drill said he's been spayed and neutered.
He's still a weirdo. Now, our pain. You know full well that dude's been neutered. You know full well,
he's young, man.
Keep his junk in the. Hey, man, keep his junk in the jelly jar.
I gotta go, but I'm gonna let you guys know. So
how young is he?
About 30-something.
How young is he?
He about 30-something, man.
He's way too old for that shit. That's when you're like 12 and you're thinking that high in the clouds. Pretty soon you're gonna come down to earth.
Get out of here. I'll talk to you. Good night, man. I gotta go to bed, man. I see you.
All right, man. Yeah. All right, R-Pain. R-Pain's gonna kill that dude. He's gonna take R-Pain's gonna take him to college.
He's gonna take his lunch money. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's gonna take that dude to college, man. R-Pain's gonna wipe the floor with him in a debate. Come on, that's no competition for our pain.
I ain't gonna miss it. I'm gonna be right there.
That's no competition
right
for our
there.
pain. I'm gonna be at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's what you do.
I got better things to do than watch our pain just beat the shit out of somebody.
Right.
In a debate. You know what I'm saying?
Anyway, Joe, we're gonna wrap this stream up, man. It's truly been a pleasure. Trey, thank you for coming out, man.
It really hasn't. It actually hasn't.
Man,
it really
stop
has,
it.
man.
Stop it. See how the short guys be acting, man. Come on, man.
Look,
Come on, man.
You old head. So
We ain't taking you to the party, man. You ain't going to the party, man. You go watch. You go sit down in the car, man.
I'll throw my
you
own.
Ain't gonna have the keys. And you ain't gonna have the keys either.
I'll throw my own party then. You have to come, but I might not let y'all in.
Oh, man, see how you struck me back, man. You better let us see it.
Good night, y'all.
Man. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy your weekend, man.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody. Y'all enjoy.